Goes down, footsteps up, shadows cast on his face. Fear in the chaos, fearless in a race. Grit deep in his soul, fire in his eyes, leading the charge where the danger lies. Battlefield echoes with his primal scream. Orders over the noise like a crashing stream. Lady J at his side in the fight. Two hearts entwined in the darkest night. Story unfolds. Lady J's there through thick and thin. Together they fight and they win. Jojo! Armored up, ready for the sudden strike. Enemies fall like the dead of night. No doubt, no fear in his heart and soul. His mission clear and under his control. In the silent moments, plans take shape. Lady J's touch escaping the fate. Soft whispers in the storm's embrace. Together in battle, no better place. Defender of the weak, with a heart so bold. Flint takes a stand, his story unfolds. Lady J's there through thick and thin. Together they fight and they In the silent moments, plans take shape. Lady J's touch escaping the fate. Soft whispers in the storm's embrace. Together in battle, no better place. Defender of the weak with a heart so bold. Flint takes a stand, his story unfolds. Lady J's there through thick and thin. Together they fight and they win. She's a whisper in the halls, a hunger that she must feed. A puppet master planting every seed. Cobra commander dances on her strings. She relishes in all that her scheming brings. She moves like a shadow through the sky in the midnight air. A queen in black leather, no one can compare. Eyes like a fiery storm, lips crimson with sin. You think you can best her? Let the games begin. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send her troops into the fray. That's her steel and fire, her perfect muse. Together they build a future they alone can choose. She's the baroness with a seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush the Joe, leave him in the dark. Potential by his side, she ignites the spark. The baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress to stop, she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. Born from the ashes of a noble house, with an inner flame that's not soon to douse. Her spirit is restless and her heart runs deep. If only she'd take more time to sleep. She breathes in Destro's fire, his steel heart beats for her. Their passion's a weapon, dangerous and pure. But only to others do their swords unsheathe. If only they could be true to themselves and show what lies beneath. All the world's a chessboard, every piece in play. She'll expertly send her troops into the fray. That's her steel and fire, her perfect muse. Together they build a future they alone can choose. She's the baroness with a seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush the Joe, leave him in the dark. But that's all by his side, she ignites the spark. The baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress to stop, she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. I'll open your eyes to the truth. I'll twist your empire into my vermouth. That shows the fire that fuels my reign, and G.I. Joe will drown in pain. She's the baroness, seductive kiss, a weapon of beauty, a force you can't resist. She'll crush G.I. Joe, leave him in the dark. But that's all by his side, she ignites the spark. The baroness, no mercy she'll show. A temptress to stop, she'll only ever dream to know. Dream to know. Oh, the baroness, she'll never bow. Her laughter echoes, hear it now. A queen of chaos, her empire grows. In shadows and flames, the baroness knows. Oh, she knows. She knows. She knows. avenge it all. The mark of Cobra on his hand, a warrior lost in a shattered land. Through the serpent's lair his blade would sing, but truth is a cruel and haunting thing. A brother's bond, a fractured fate. Storms will clash, but it's never too late. Storm shadow, torn in two, a soul divided red and blue. From Cobra's grasp to the Joe team's light, seeking redemption, a ninja's fight. Like a blade shining in the night, Storm Shadow will set things right. A shadow guide through the storm where honor died. Two brothers once in fire and pain, now united loyalty binds them again. Arashikage's ghost still calls to rebuild what crumbled walls, but the scars of war run deep and wide in the ninja's heart where secrets hide. Storm Shadow, torn in two, a soul divided red and blue. From Cobra's grasp to the Joe team's light, seeking redemption, a ninja's fight. Like a blade shining in the night, Storm Shadow will set things right. Whispers the past will fade, a heavy price for the choices made. But in the mirror of his brother's face, he finds a path, a saving grace. Now he fights for a nobler cause, his blade for peace, not Cobra's claws. Through battles fierce, his soul he'll prove, to honor the name he once removed. The Arashikage will rise once more, a clan reborn from the winds of war. Storms may rage, but he'll stand tall, a shadow turn to save us all. Storm Shadow, now renewed, a soul united, tried and true. From Cobra's grasp to the Joe team's might, redemption found in a ninja's fight. Heart is true, but soul is blue. Through the storm, through the pain, a shadow's honor reclaimed again. Brother, side by side, a ninja's path where shadows collide, Through the storm, through the pain, a shadow's honor reclaimed again. Brother to brother, side by side, a ninja's path where shadows collide. Collide, collide.
decided I could do a better job than the more of the job. Plenty will listen, plenty will follow. The time is now.
We are on the rise. Time for revolution's reprise. I deny all the slander. I will be your commander. Guns, ammo, tanks, helicopters, jets. I bet I can convince some vets. I will be seen as the enemy. Either way I will live in infamy. Guns, ammo, tanks, helicopters, jets. I bet I can convince some vets. I will be seen as the enemy. Either way I will live in infamy. I'm dressed all in blue, coming to a neighborhood near you, framed by my crimson garden red. The red and the blue you will dread. Take a gander, I am your commander. Spread. Oppose me and you'll surely be dead. I will make the world a better place. To hell with your rules and grace. A cobra commander me, coming at you like a king or queen. You'll be dreading the hour when I reveal my true power. The need for change is upon us. I'll be the one to throw the politicians under the bus. As Cobra Commander, I will shine. Your governments I seek to undermine. I'm dressed all in blue, coming to a neighborhood near you, framed by my crimson garden red. Take a gander, I am your commander. Come on! Saving the world through violence, I'll not tolerate insolence. It's how it's been done for centuries, putting the weaklings out of their miseries. Cobra is the way of the future. Get ready for the suture. As like a surgeon I'll cut away all that which must not stay. I am your commander. I was just a lad when I raised my hand. Only 16, and I swore an oath to this flag, to this land. Didn't really know what it meant at the time. Didn't understand the cost. Just a dream of honor, never counting the loss. The years rolled by, the battles came. Friends I love now etched in flame. But through the fire I stood tall. Oh, soldiers' heart beats beyond it all. I'm seeing my years beyond all my fears. It's not only my duty but my privilege to defend. Through the storms and the night I stand for the light. All soldiers fight till the very end. Soldiers stand tall. Old soldiers sacrifice it all. I've seen the sands of driest deserts, the deepest jungle shade. Walk through valleys where the brave hearts fade. But each scar I bear is a medal to me for the life I've lived to keep others free. It's not the glory, it's the faces I've saved that keep me in the game. No home, no fortune, no promised land, just the grip of a rifle and the call of command. You're seeing my years beyond all my fears. It's not only my duty but my privilege to defend. Through the storms of the night, I stand for the light. Old soldiers fight till the very end. Old soldiers stand tall. Old soldiers sacrifice it all. The march of time takes its toll on us all, but I'll stand my ground, though my body may fall. The cadence echoes in my heart and my mind. A soldier's purpose is a sacred kind. I wanna be an airborne ranger, live a life of danger. When I look back, I have no regret. Every sunrise I met is a life well set. I'm not just a man, I'm part of a creed. An old soldier's life is to serve and lead. Now the war drums fade, the world moves on, but the spirit of duty still plays my song. Though my hands may shake, my aim is true, and old soldiers vow last life through. When they lay me down, don't cry for me. I gave my all for the land of the free. In the hearts of those who come after, my torch will burn. For honor, courage, and for duty, the lessons they'll learn. My years beyond all my fears. It's not only my duty, but my privilege to defend. Through the storms and the night, I stand for the light. Old soldiers fight till the very end. Old soldiers stand tall. Old soldiers sacrifice it all. Our old soldiers, we carry the flame. With courage and honor, we answer the name. Through the battles of our time, our hearts won't bend. Old soldiers fight till the very end. In the heat of battle, we'll rise to the occasion. With courage in our hearts and unwavering dedication. Clutch, the mechanic with the motor or heart. Street racing legend, tearing the city apart. Greasing his hair with that oily shine. He's a wild one, catching eyes all the time. Vamp to ride a fast attack machine, roaring through the streets, causing the scene. With every turn, he leaves them in the dust, chasing dreams and leaving hearts to rust. Clutch, burning rubber on the fiery track. The ladies love him, but they can't hold him back. He's a womanizer with the rebel charm, fixing engines by days. In the Van Pill speed past Cobra, bullets blazing, it's a heavy metal opera. With clutch behind the wheel, the enemy will free. Mowing down vipers with rapid ease. At 80 miles per hour with a grin. Making time all the while you win. Clutch will make a pass at Scarlet, even rebuke, he's a bullet. Clutch, burning rubber on the fiery track. The ladies love him, but they can't Joe. Yo, Joe, listen, no, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan, oh, he's so swell. He's the G.I. Joe gamer, cool and weird, talking up his characters, heroes, and villains at midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking up Joe Team and a Cobra tie. Joe's got snake eyes, a silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's two the leader, so bold.
Greetings. From the Hilt cautions that this program may contain mature content that includes adult language, sexual innuendos, and other some such content. Sam Nolikey warns that it could get a bit funky fresh up in here with the best community on YouTube. Please enjoy the show.
All right. I am Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer. Let's get my camera on here. Good and proper. How's everyone doing tonight? Christopher Logan Hilt, the G.I. Joe gamer here. Going to show you some classic G.I. Joe takes that I made about a year ago. So we're back. This is our season 2 of Joe Takes Classics. Good to see everybody. Got lots of folks in the chat. We're going to say hi right now. We've got Pew. We got Jess Laws. Hello, Jess. Good to see you. It's good to see everybody. You guys are awesome. Yeah, I got some stuff up here that I'm holding on to, so I can put it up if I need to. But Superior Cyber Godzilla, what's up? How you doing, Zilla? Kenneth Bird, how you doing? It's good to see you. We got Kate from Narrative Driven Art, and I have dead air behind me, so I'm gonna jump some music on real quick before we continue. So long as I don't play it that volume, I should be okay. Here we go. All right, moving right along. It's Cool Gamer. What's up, Cool Gamer? All right, and then we got Nevada Jack. Welcome, sir. And you were saying it felt like at a motorcycle rally. I appreciate that. I do have some Dreadnought songs that I was trying to get that feel for. And Old Soldiers kind of falls right into that same kind of music. So thank you for that. Of course, we have Code Name Banger in the house. Hello, Sithlordly, my bro. Check out Spine Ticks Live on Saturday night. Tiger will be joining us. 8 p.m. Pacific is when that starts. We're going to talk comics. We're going to talk entertainment and some cool stuff. Check us out. We'll be there with Sithlordly, our host. It's good to see you, buddy. All right, let me jump over here and see what's going on. From the Hilt renewed for another season. We'll see if I get drunk, it'll happen. I bite and scratch. All right, it's good to see everybody. I got four, like I said, I have 4 Joe takes for you tonight. I'm gonna play rock and roll, Copperhead, then General Hawk, and then I'm gonna end the show up with Eels tonight. So I'll get that started here in just a bit. But it's good to see everybody. Went to your channel last week when you said you were gonna do it, but never happened, Jess. Yeah, when are you gonna do that after show, Jess? Hey, all right, it's good to see you there, Jack. Okay, so you guys ready to jump in? So most of the show is going to be video. So I'm playing it right off YouTube. So from my channel, check it out. Also, this show is being simulcast on both From the Hilt and the GI Joe Gamer. So if you're watching on one or the other and you see chat that you don't see that we're talking about or up on the screen, I got links. Jump on over to the other channel and join the chat. All right. That being said, let's jump into some Joe takes. Yo, Joe.
Listen, no, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan, lonely, so swell. He's the G.I. Joe Gamer. Cool and witty, talking about those characters, heroes, and villains at midnight we shout. Yo, Joe, or Cobra, talking about the Joe team and the Cobra tie. Joe's got straight cards, a solid ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Then there's two the leader, so bold, gung ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior, she'll make her enemies cower. Cobra's got death row to supply the weapons. Cobra command, plots and schemes. She ruling the world in his dreams. Sartan is never what he seems. And Baroness spots that black leather outfit. Shoots her quick and slipped out the back of the neck. Yo, Joe, Cobra, go. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh, yeah. Yo, Joe, Cobra. Cobra from the characters, it's a G.I. Joe thing.
Greetings. I am Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer, and welcome to Joe Takes 42. Tonight, talking about rock and roll from the hilt. And before we get into that, I want to announce that we're making a change up on Joe Takes. Instead of playing the video at the beginning as the intro, I made an intro as you just saw. So I'm going to go back to playing it at the end of the video. However, and then I won't have the next week's Joe Takes at the end. I'll post on the channel after that, but we will also be premiering it on our Fridays from the Hilt show, which we did tonight. So check that out. But I'm going to play it here tonight for you anyway. But from this moment, this video forward, the next week's Joe Takes will not be on the Joe Takes. It'll be on Fridays from the Hilt. That way I can get more people to see it. And it's just extra content on here anyway. So I just want to talk about the one figure at a time. And so what we're going to do tonight is I'm going to go ahead and play right now. I'm going to go ahead and play that rock and roll video for Joe Takes 42. So here you go. I like to include all that art in file cards for the character. So we've done that. Rock and Roll is a really cool Joe. He's one of the original 13. So we're going to have a good time talking about him tonight. So I hope you enjoy. Before we do that, though, monthly, I have been doing something interesting for a channel called Spine Ticks, which I'm pretty sure there's a link in the description. I'm pretty sure I thought to do that earlier. Tomorrow night on Spine Ticks does a show every Saturday night at 9 p.m. Eastern or 10 p.m. It's 9 p.m. for me, so I think it's 10 p.m. Eastern, 9 p.m. Mountain Time. So check out Spine Ticks. And what I do is I send him these what I call Joe ticks or Cobra ticks. And so this one actually starred Rock and Roll. So I'm going to play this video for you too.
Hello ladies. Okay, maybe the dudes too. My name is Craig. My hobbies are playing guitar and going for strolls on a moonlit beach. I'm the Joe's machine gunner because I have a lot of stamina. If you know what I mean. And that's why they call me Rock and Roll. That's my bit. Now for the business at hand. Watch Joe Takes On from the hilt after Fridays, but Saturday nights are for Spine Ticks. Yo Joe. Ticks.
The rest of that was just little bits for Spine Ticks and credits. Jay Taro did the music for that. It was called One Love. So I hope you enjoyed that. Now, let's get into what we normally do around here. And we look at figures, talk about characters, and have a good time doing it. Now, here's Rock and Roll, the original straight arm, 1982 action figure. I got him on the 25th anniversary Ram cycle, so it's pretty cool. But yeah, I'm not going to put his hands on this because I'm not putting anything in the hands of this old figure. But this guy is in really good shape. And I'll show you. Even his knees are hard to bend. So he either got repaired and cleaned up, or somebody kept this figure in really good shape before I bought it. I got it in a comic book store in a trade for other action figures of different lines that I had and my wife had. We traded a bunch of stuff, and I got a bunch of G.I. Joes. And this just happened to be there in pieces. And they practically gave it to me because it wasn't assembled. They didn't know what to do with it. And I'm like, I know what to do with it. And so I put an O-ring on it, and I put it together. And as you can see, straight arm, no swivel arm. If I can get the camera to focus, and all it does is up and down like that. So anyway, Rock and Roll was one of the cooler originals because it had the bullets on his chest, and it was molded into the plastic, which was neat at the time, and it made him stand out from the other Joes. Yeah, his helmet does come off, and he's blonde. And yeah, he has the same head as Clutch and Breaker, but that's all right. You know, they just had to reuse parts. And he's got one of the classic helmets on. And I do not have the machine gun because it didn't come with that. So I won't be able to look at that. So the next one I have is the 1989, the second version of Rock and Roll. I am missing the other Gatling gun. Actually, I have it, but it's this bottom part, this separated from the actual gun. As you can see, it looks pretty fragile. And it really was. It just kind of cracked right off. So I actually took it off and just used it as a regular gun. He also came, there used to be little pegs on his leg. He came with this little shotgun-like weapon. And that's in with my accessories somewhere, but I'm not really sure exactly where. So here we go. And this Rock and Roll is, as you can see, it's in really good shape too. The knees don't bend really easy. And I replaced this O-ring probably about 5 or 6 years ago, and it stayed pretty good. This is like a really awesome version of Rock and Roll, which as we get to the classified, you'll see the classified is actually kind of a combination between the two of those. I did acquire another Rock and Roll figure in the early 2000s in a comic book pack with Short Fuse and Flash. Flash, however, was in an astronaut, a spacesuit, and so it looks pretty cool. And when I do my Flash video, I'll definitely check that figure out too. But he came with this big old gun and a backpack, which is with my accessory somewhere. But I thought they did a really good job of making him look like a bearded dude with like a surfer haircut back in the 80s. So it was pretty cool. And they did this in the early 2000s. So it was kind of neat that they did this so that we have a really cool looking rock and roll figure. And they molded all the bullets. And it's a completely new sculpt. So it's really cool. Now, I know they probably used this from other parts, like from Big Ben or something in that time period. But I think they made him look really good. And having come with that comic pack, it came with the issue, I think number 8, where they went into space. And it was kind of cool. So yeah, that's an issue to check out. I do have it. Let me double check here, and I will look and see which one that was, because I do have all the older runs. I think it's number 8, but I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure that it's this one. And this was actually the first one not written by Larry Hama. It was written by the artist Herb Trimpe. So it's interesting, different take on the Joes, but yet just as cool. There were very few of the Marvel run in G.I. Joe that was not written by Larry Hama. I'll get into the comics more in a little bit, but let's take a look at the classified box art. Now, I'm not a big fan of a picture instead of artwork. They did include a little bit of artwork, and it looks pretty cool. And he's number 71 in the series. On the back, show the figure and all the accessories. And he came with extra hands, a fist, and a gun hand, and a pointing hand. Now, the first one I bought actually came with 2 fist hands, a pointing hand, and that was it. It didn't come with his gun hand. And it's like, how can you have a machine gunner without a gun hand, you know? So I actually swapped this out with Sergeant Slaughter's hand for a while, because Sergeant Slaughter has multiple hands in his set too. And I've done that video. I did that for a Veterans Day. It was pretty cool video. Now, rock and roll. I love the fact that these things come with the little box that he comes in, and it has the artwork in black and white. And I like to show these off now. And I don't know why I wasn't doing it earlier, but he also comes with, and it was in the video too. He comes with his foot locker, and pretty much all I have in here, and I just dropped it. You gotta drop something on Joe Takes, and I do not see it. Oh, there it is. There, it's one of the hands that came out of the box here. Double check. Yeah, I got 2 other hands, and it looks like a extra little bullet clip that goes on, so you can display them differently. It's kind of cool. Now, he comes with a rocker hand, which right now I've got him with his other gun hand on the left, and then that's that fist I was telling you about. Now, like I said, the other one came with 2, so I had to acquire another rock and roll. What is your recourse for a hand? You know, I'm not going to return it. I got it at the store, and I could have taken it back, because now there's like 100 rock and rolls on the shelf. But at the time, he was hardly around, and now that's all you find is Shipwreck and Rock and Roll at Walmart. So Target's been a little better, not much, but they have all their exclusives out now. I don't know why Walmart doesn't have their exclusives. I've had to order all of those online, so I have some of those coming, and I have a couple of mine that I picked up recently, but none of the Night Force yet. I got a couple of those coming this week, I hope. But anyway, I ordered them from Hasbro, so that was. Sometimes it takes a while for Hasbro to send stuff, but that's the classified box art for this rock and roll. Now, I acquired this rock and roll in a very special way. It was actually given to me by Sithlordly from Spine Ticks. So huge shout out to Spine Ticks this week on Joe Takes. I'm basically dedicating this episode to him. Rock and roll is one of his favorites, and I know that a few of my friends, rock and roll is their favorite character. If I get his helmet on there properly, so I do like the fact that he can hold both the bellets, both the belts, a belt of bullets, if I can speak properly. And he comes with his sidearm, and he comes with a radio that actually snaps on. You can snap it onto the back or the front. I found it snapping it onto the front, it actually gets in the way of a lot of things. And there are other things that you can snap into that, but generally with this figure, the only thing I found that really works is the radio. And I like to display it like that, sideways, but you can turn it any which way you want. It's just snapped in there. And like I said, it just comes right off and it snaps right in there. And we'll put it right back and point the antenna that a ways. Like I said, it comes with the standard Joe sidearm, you know. But this machine gun that I had come with, it's not a Modus, the old one. He didn't come with a Modus. He came with this big old machine gun. It is very similar to the original, but not exact. I actually think they did a better job. And it has these two stands here, like a bipod, so you can actually display him laying down and shooting the machine gun, which is really cool. I do like this communication helmet, and he's got the ring on the back there, but that's just a chin strap there. But yeah, this is where his Joe Pro is in his helmet right there on the side. Doesn't really look like the standard Joe Pro on some of the other figures, but that's kind of how I picture what it is. But he does have his radio too, so you could imagine either one being your communication source. But like I said, that machine gun is really awesome, and he can carry it by the handle there, or hold it like this, and you can pose him in a lot of different ways. Now, this bipod actually folds up and it snaps into the gun itself, and so it holds up really well. Now, I don't really like the design of that, but it works. I wish they'd have painted it black. I mean, molded it black or whatever, so that the green didn't stand out. But, that's the way they did it. I don't know why, but, they make their decisions. And, of course, he has the belt of bullets. Now, comparing him to the original is all green with the belt of bullets, and this helmet's just plain. I think they did a way better job. Hello, Victor. Welcome, sir. Talking rock and roll tonight. Hope you like rock and roll. He's not my top 10, but he is definitely up there, man. He's one of the coolest Joes that there is. In the cartoon, I love some of the stuff they had him do. And he was in both series. He was in the Sunbow series and the Deke series. I think they even had a cameo for him in the G.I. Joe Renegades. And there were some other of the mini movies that he was in. And I'd have to go over him to really check, because he never really had a big part. But that's rock and roll. And what I was saying with the shirt, how it's light, and the original was all green. As you can see, they kind of merged the two and gave him the lighter shirt. I missed my OG rock and roll figure. I never had an OG rock and roll figure. This was my rock and roll right here. And I acquired this one here just a few years ago, like I was saying earlier, and it is in pristine shape. I mean, the knees don't bend on their own. The arms are really stiff, and all I had to do was replace the O-ring. And the comic book store didn't know what to do with it, because it didn't have an O-ring. And I'm like, you don't know how to replace the O-rings? I mean, but that wasn't their thing, I guess, and that's cool. It made it so I acquired it for relatively cheap. It was part of the trade that I did with action figures. And I'm not about to put him on a battle stand, but these old figures stand better than any of the new ones. I don't know why, they just do. But I'm just gonna lay him down there. And like I said, I have the original Ram, but I'm missing the sidecar for it. So when I display him on the 25th anniversary Ram. This is this is a really nice update for the Ram cycle. It is way better than the original, but of course, they had the technology and the tools to do what they needed to do. And the classified Ram, I compared these in the Breaker video, so you can check that out. I had all of them in there, including my old one without the sidecar. So I really did an in-depth a review on the Ram cycle and Breaker. Well, not really a review, but I gave my opinion on it. Now, talking cartoon, Rock and Roll was in the very first miniseries, and he had a few lines, but he didn't really have a big part. Revenge of Cobra, he was in it. That was about it. I think he was on guard duty or something in some of the scenes. And, they always show him in the background. But then when they got to the regular series, excuse me. When they got to the regular first season, after Pyramid of Darkness, they had him in one of my favorite episodes was Jungle Trap. And him, Snake Eyes, Scarlet, and Duke with Recondo were trapped in the jungle. Cobra shot them down in their dragonflies, and they had to make their way through the jungle. And Cobra had all these traps set up, including some striped hyenas. It was really an intense episode for a kids show back then. And Rock and Roll played a really big part in that. He was one of the main characters right up to the very end. And so that's a really good one if you haven't seen it. Jungle Trap in the Sunbow series. Let's see, Victor says, yeah, I used to drive my mom crazy, Tigger, with my toys, swapping heads and taking apart electronics. Yes, sir. I did some of that too. I have quite a few. Not really a lot. I kind of put back my collection as best I could, but I did Frankenstein some of the figures, as they like to call it. I don't know why, but they did, and that's what they call it. So anyway, in the cartoon, he was also in the Sithlordly Conspiracy. He didn't have a really big part, but the part that he played was really cool. He actually helped Mutt escape when the Sithlords were taking over G.I. Joe. And they wanted to, one of the Sithlords ordered Junkyard destroyed, so naturally Mutt decided to take off. And Rock and Roll actually helped him escape, and there was a really cool scene of camaraderie between Rock and Roll and Mutt, which I really enjoyed. Trying to think of other scenes with Rock and Roll. The only other one that really stands out to me was the Cold Slither episode, where at the end they got to sing the G.I. Joe song, and he was up there on stage playing a guitar. It was a nice nod to the fact that Rock and Roll is a rock and roller and a surfer. They never really noted that he was a surfer, but it was pretty cool. Now, I'm going to take a look at these covers, and I actually have them set up so that I can put them up here. I need to put my music back on. No dead air while I'm happy here. If I stop talking, which isn't likely to happen. Now, issue 97 was really the first one I found that focused on Rock and Roll, and I think it's a really good nod to the character. And I have this issue. Let's see. You remember that scene? Yeah, me too, sir. Cold Slither. Yeah, that was a fun episode, Cold Slither. Rock and Roll was in other episodes, but to me, he really didn't stand out except in those few episodes that I mentioned. Now, in the Deke series, he was in this uniform, and he was pretty much only in Operation Dragonfire, the 5-part miniseries. I don't remember. He might have been in the background some of the other episodes, and maybe he did like a big old cameo in one of them, but I'm not really sure because I don't remember seeing him a lot. But I like this cover. Hit with the Canadian Mounties. It was really cool with his pants all shredded, his Gatling guns just smoking. I thought they did a really cool job on this cover right here. And then the next one that had a really featured Rock and Roll was when they introduced Metalhead. I didn't have I don't have issue 98, so it's not on the back there, but this is on the back of issue 113 with Tunnel Rat, and it looks, I think that's supposed to be Rock and Roll back there, but they didn't color it right. I mean, Roadblock, not Rock and Roll. Rock and Roll is on this cover, though, on 114. And I do have this to look at better. There we go. That was during the 50th anniversary of Marvel, way back in the, I'd say, late 80s, early 90s, because they went to 155, so I think it was late 80s when this came out. When they were trying to fix all their comic dates and everything. And I thought it was a pretty badass issue. I didn't really care for Metalhead. Larry Hama obviously didn't either. He didn't have a bunch of the storyline, but, whatever. Anyway, so throughout the entire comic series, however, Rock and Roll had a lot of major appearances. Him, Clutch, and Breaker would go on these road trips, and he had this really cool car. Clutch actually owned the car, and they were driving across. I think it was Clutch's car, because Clutch is the driver, Oh yeah, because there is a really cool line in that comic where they run into the dreadnoughts. They're facing off with the dreadnoughts, and there he is. I don't know, decided to come down. She didn't knock the divider back on me, so I guess that's a good thing. I gave her enough room to get by today. Anyway, what happened to Dr. Mindbender? A lot of things happened to Dr. Mindbender in the comics. I have not acquired the classified Dr. Mindbender yet, but I want to. We'll see how that works out because it's pretty expensive. I actually hope they come out with it again in a less deluxe format. Now, anyway, as this comic was progressing, and it was in the 30s, Rock and Roll Breaker and Clutch went on this road trip, and they went up against the Dreadnoks, and it was pretty cool. Rock and Roll really wanted to kill Thunder, but they didn't get the chance. There was a scene where somebody was asking for a gun in the glove box, and they popped open the glove box. And I'm pretty sure there was Rock and Roll, there was a pistol in there, and there was a bunch of gloves in there. And he goes, Rock and Roll's like, who puts gloves in the glove box? And Clutch was like, I do. Of course you put gloves in the glove box. I had never heard of putting gloves in the glove box. I thought that was really funny when Larry Hama to point that out. Now, as far as Dr. Mindbender is concerned, later on, he actually was when Clutch and Rock and Roll got brainwashed by Cobra Commander. Dr. Mindbender was technically dead at the time, so I don't even know if Rock and Roll had any interaction with Dr. Mindbender in the comics. And I know he didn't in the cartoon. Rock and Roll was pretty much out of the Zobo series when Dr. Mindbender showed up, but they didn't have Dr. Mindbender in his Deke series at all. Their rebranding of him in G.I. Joe Renegades was interesting, but it wasn't the old Dr. Mindbender at all. Yes, sir. Lots of left. Yes. I try to keep things light and nice around here. So that's in a nutshell. That's his storyline in the comics. He never really had in-depth, deep background or anything. I mean, Clutch had a story where he went home, but that was written by somebody other than Larry Hama too. That was the second one. There were 20 that was written by someone else. But it was an interesting story for Clutch. Anyway, I like Clutch. He's in my top 10. And Breaker's pretty cool. I already did a review on that. Now, I have ordered the Vamp with Clutch with the classified line, so I will be taking a look at that when I get it. But it's pre-ordered, so I have no idea. They haven't charged me for it yet, but when they do, I know it'll show up within about a week. So we'll see. That should be really cool because the crew, Breaker, Clutch, and Rock and Roll. That would be nice to take some pics of the three of them together and do another G.I. Joe Brothers in Arms with three of them. That would be awesome. As far as Rock and Roll is concerned for me, the file cards, he started out as E5, ended up getting promoted to E6 on this particular figure. They released him in different colors in 90 or 91 as one of the Sonic or Supersonic fighters. I didn't really care for the colors on it. It was really awful green and ugly orange. I mean, we're talking really ugly orange. But that was the 90s for you. I don't know why Cat wants to come back out. I'm not going to let you knock that down. Okay, you go get something. Luda making an appearance without being on camera. It's just how she is. That's how she rolls. All right. So, anyway, on that particular figure, however, they promoted him to E9. Now, most other file cards list him as E6. I kind of see Rock and Roll Baby having leveled out at E7, which is Sergeant First Class, or just staying as a staff sergeant. I don't think he ever. I know that particular figure listed him as a sergeant major, but in the comic books, he did get promoted from E5. He got a full pay grade. So in the comics, he did get promoted to E6, and I'm sure after a few years, he was promoted to E7 at least. Let me see. Luna is such a diva. Yeah, she is. And it was Thursday night. She knocked that down on my head right as I entered the live stream. I think you were there for that. It wasn't pleasant. It hit me in the back of the head and right here on my arm, and I got this bruise right here. But, you know, I weathered it. It's just life with a cat. Now, so, as far as I'm concerned, Rock and Roll's not a squad leader. He's a team player. He's a squad mate. And I like to put him up with Clutch, Breaker, and Grunt. They make a really good, really cool fire team. You remember? Yeah. So yeah, those four make a cool fire team, and I generally put them in Stalker's alpha team. So the alpha fire team alpha would be Stalker squad, and they're team 2. So alpha 2, he would be alpha 2-1, and Clutch would be 2-2. That's just the way I kind of do things. He's actually alpha 22, but that's kind of how I roll. Stalker and Recondo was one of your favorite action figures. Yes, sir. And I've got Recondo slotted later out down the line to do a Joe take on him. Love that figure. I want to wait till I get the retro version of Recondo that's out. I'm going to be ordering that as soon as I can, with whatever I have the budget for it. So that should be pretty cool. I already did a Stalker video. Stalker is awesome. He's one of the coolest Joes, and he's in my top 10. Definitely an awesome character, an awesome figure. The original was good. The 90s, and the 89 one was decent too, where he came in a Tundra outfit. That was really cool. Yes, Rock and Roll. Ricondo's hat was so cool. It was all folded up on the side. That Australian bush hat, I think is what they call it. And I definitely dig Recondo, so I'm looking forward to doing his video too. In my head canon, that's how I see Rock and Roll, as a stand-up team player, just with a mellow, cool attitude. All the Joes want to hang out with Rock and Roll. Before he can break out a guitar and start playing some music. He's going to be right there to cover them if things get hairy, you know. Yeah, yes, sir. Condo's cool. I like that. He's got it's up with an R. I just realized it when I was making to get this set up tonight. That last week I did Ripper's video for the Dreadnought. So I did 2 R's in a row, Ripper and Recondo. So, Ripper and Rock and Roll, and now we're talking about Recondo. That's what I was thinking to say. But anyway, that's my take on Rock and Roll. He is definitely a stand-up Joe. I wouldn't want to have the team without him. I know a lot of people think that Roadblock replaced it, but I think they work really good together. Roadblock on one fire team squad and Rock and Roll on the other. That would be really cool. Let's see, 50 saying that I used to have Bazooka, Recondo, Stalker, and Rock and Roll squad up for missions. That is a cool team, I gotta tell you. With Stalker as the leader. Yep. Stalker is one of my favorite field leaders, especially the comics. I love a lot of the Stalker stories, but I went into way detail on Stalker in his video, so I'm not gonna overload this video with that. But just like with Dr. Mindbender, I do want to do one, but I want to pick up the classified version first. And I definitely want to get that retro Recondo so I can do a really cool video. Because the Tiger Force Recondo is cool, and I have that. But to see him in the retro colors, I love the look of that action figure, and I really want to acquire one. And I'm not sure it's quite out yet, but I haven't ordered any of the more retro ones. I got just the original 4, Gung-Ho, Destro, Lady J, and there it is. They're actually out here on my desk. Once you open them up, you can't put them back in the box. But I did acquire them a second time, and they're on my wall. So I can't wait till I get my studio set up so that can all be on camera at some point. So I hope you enjoyed my take on Rock and Roll. I am going to play one more little video here for next week. I'm not going to be doing that as of the next Joe Takes. I didn't announce it last time, so I wanted to keep with what I was going with this week. But I will start having the next week's Joe Takes on the Fridays from the Hilt. So, and plus they'll come out at 1 a.m. after I do my Joe takes anyway. So this video will post in probably about less than a half hour. So on that note, see what Victor has to say. Yes, sir, Chris, thank you. Oh, you are welcome, and thank you for being here, my friend. I enjoy hanging out with you, especially when we go over and watch Star Trek on the Role-Playing Gamers Society, Society of Role-Playing Gamers. Bear's channel. It still is his channel, but that's a lot of fun, and I appreciate hanging out with you, sir. And I miss you on our Endless Quest book this month, so I hope you'll join us for the next one. We're going to be reading Revenge of the Rainbow Dragons in I think it's 2 weeks, something like that, on Thursday night. So I hope you join us for that, because I know you have a good time with us on that. And yes, sir, likewise. I actually had another guy named Chris. He used to call me likewise. I called him Ditto. It was kind of crazy, but when you say that, it just reminds me of that. What's the things we do in life, right? Anyway, so this is who I'm taking a look at next week. Now, I started using an AI generator for using songs and everything called Pseudo, and I use that in this video. So I hope you enjoy it. On that note, log it out.
In the heart of the city, shadows come alive. A ruthless speedboat driver ready to take a dive. Copperhead is his name, his ambition untamed. The power of Cobra, no one can be blamed. Cobra's chase, the battle unfolds. G.I. Joe stands tall, brave and bold. Copperhead's game, a dangerous affair. With justice in our hands, we'll despair. In the depths of the night, a shadow takes the wheel. Copperhead's in control. He's got that speed for skill. Ruthless gambler, mercy in his eyes. He'll push it to the edge, take you by surprise. Oh, Cobra's curse stands toying with our fate, but G.I. Joe won't back down. We'll never hesitate. From land to sea, we'll stand and fight. Cobra's reign of terror will bring it to light.
Let's get to the next episode, and we'll chat a bit. I'll pause it. Switches over to this all right, it's over. Good video. Come on home now. Yeah, don't worry about that. That's old video. All right. Boom. Okay, I'm gonna pause that. I'm gonna take that off the screen. Who's that guy on the screen? How you guys doing tonight? We had a few people pop in during videos. We had Dino. I think he took off already though, but thanks for joining us, buddy. Yeah, Ronnie Trickshot jumped in here. I don't know if he's still in here, but thanks for being here. All right. So I have for you, before we move on to the next one, I have a rock and roll file card to play. So I was going to play that. Here you go. Rock and roll.
Machine gunner, file name, Craig Espargano. Grade, E9 Sergeant Major, U.S. Army. Birthplace, Malibu, California. Primary specialty, infantry. Secondary specialty, Physical training instructor, qualified expert, M14, M16, M19, Remembered A1, M3, A1, M79, M60, all NATO in Warsaw, backlight and heavy machine guns. Graduated, sharpshooter, advanced infantry training, top of class. Graduated. Covert Ops School, preferred weapon, General Monopoly's 5.56 sentimental 6-barrel electronically driven mini-gallon machine gun. Rock and roll was a surfer in Malibu prior to enlistment. He was also a weightlifter and played bass guitar in local rock bands. Rock and roll is cunning, but naive, forceful, but shy, possesses a strong sense of loyalty to his teammates and is sincerely concerned about their well-being. He's a man of honor and integrity who can be counted on to hold the line. Rock and roll has served with the G.I. Joe team since its inception and has been consistently updating his equipment and his skills. These days, his primary iron is the General Monopoly's 5.56 sentimental 6-barrel electronically driven mini-gallon machine gun. It's fitted with inert gas recoil absorbers and scoped with 3rd-generation laser optics. This weapon, including power pack and factory-loaded 1,000-round ammo drum, weighs in at 85 pounds and delivers 4,000 rounds per minute at a muzzle velocity of 3,300 feet per second. He easily adapts to sudden shifts and cobra attacks and quickly forms an aggressive response that keeps the team in control of the field. From General Hawk's file, when rock and roll was a surfer and weightlifter, back home in Malibu, he used to play electric guitar in local bands. During that time, his ears became accustomed to loud, amplified noises. So today, whenever he hears the roar of his mini-Gatling gun laying down maximum suppressive firepower, the sound of it is simply music to his ears. Submitted by Lady J.
For a while, he was going by the code name of Bench Press, but when I told him he was going back to work for Stalker, he said, rock and roll. I replied, it works for me.
Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly trained special mission.
I will stop that there. Hope you guys enjoyed the rock and roll portion of the show. I got 3 more Joe Takes coming up for you tonight on Joe Takes Classics. Next up, we've got Copperhead. So we got a Cobra. So let's check it out. This is going. See you guys in the chat. I'm going to take a break for a minute, but here we go. I was looking around wondering what was going on, if I was live or not. Can I make fun of myself as I look and watch this video? Oh, I probably didn't think I was live.
There we go. Hey there. Let's get this started.
Sweet.
Okay.
Be back in a bit.
You don't listen, no, I got a story to tell about a guy named Logan, he's so swell. He's the G.I. Joe gamer. Cool and weird, dropping up those characters, heroes and villains at midnight we shout. Joe, or Cobra, talking like Joe T and a Cobra tie. Joe's got fake eyes, a silent ninja in black. Quick with his swords, he'll give you a heart attack. Members to the league, so bold, gung-ho, always ready to fight and make those cameos. And we can't forget about Scarlet, the ultimate girl power. A fierce warrior to make her enemies cower. Cobra's got Destro to supply the weapons. Cobra command, plots and schemes. He's ruling the world in his dreams. Sartan is never what he seems. And down in spots that black leather outfit shoots you quick and slip out the back of the head. Yo, Joe, Cobra, go. Logan's here to give his G.I. Joe taste. Oh, yeah. Yo, Joe, Cobra. Cobra got the characters, it's the G.I. Joe thing.
All right, how you doing? I'm Logan, the GI Joe gamer. Getting off to a fun start. I was over at Bert's Beats and Allison Pearl Jam watching the dance challenge. That was a lot of fun. Sorry I'm missing the ending, but we got a GI Joe thing to do. Tonight, what we're doing, this is Joe Takes Classics episode 2 from the Hilt. And what we're doing is we're looking at old episodes of From the Hilt. So let's jump right into it. Tonight we're looking at episodes 5, 6, 7, and 8. And episodes 5 and 6 are really cool because they're actually my top 10 favorites of both G.I. Joe and then Cobra. So this doesn't seem right. Let me see what's going on and why it's playing a classics. It's not playing it properly.
You live currently?
I am live currently. Thanks for that. Yes, for some reason it jumped to the other playlist.
I'm just so curious if Red has not Red. In Mag, does Pal have access to my base?
It will not let me fix. There we go.
Oh my gosh, you're asking him a game question while he's live.
I am not answering that. Thank you.
Why?
Yeah, because I had an incident here and this isn't playing properly.
Oh, you answer.
You shut up. I swear, dude. I jumped into Joe Case Classics too. That's not supposed to be in here. I will remove that from the playlist. And I will move on to Copperhead like we're supposed to be. All right. I will see if I can skip the intro because we don't need to play that twice. And we'll jump in from there. Sorry about that, guys. Technical difficulties. But I'm back. Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe gamer. LODL, National Park Princess, welcome. And thanks for joining me. You've been watching videos for the last 2 days and was happy to see that I had a premiere. Cool. I'm glad you're here. She says hi. And we're just chatting back and forth a little bit before she got here. I'm glad that you got my live stream tonight. I kind of do this every Saturday. I'm going to be taking a break here in about 3 weeks. After this, I got 3 more of these to do, and then I'm going to be going on spring break for about 3 weeks too. And but then we'll be back and we'll be doing this again. So this is a lot of fun for me. Tonight we're talking about Copperhead for the Hilt. This is Joe Takes number 43. Copperhead, as I like to start my videos, is with the original vintage figure if I have it. And in this case, I do. I actually have 2 of these, but my other one is with my doubles bag, which I have yet to locate. So I'm missing quite a few of my other figures, but I have all the ones that were the best quality in with my main collection. But this figure, really cool. And let's see, you'll be listening. Cool. All right. I don't know how much of a fan of G.I. Joe you are, but this is my G.I. Joe thing. He came with this boat. He was never released as a carded figure. I don't think he was ever released as a carded figure, except maybe a 2-pack or something. But this is the moccasin, and this little boat came with some other accessories which I don't have. It came with a sled that comes off of here, and when I acquired this, a friend of mine gave this to me, so I never actually had the full thing from the store. But I still have it all these years, and I've had it for probably 40 years, almost 40 years. I think I acquired it in 1985, so it is one of the oldest vehicles that I acquired and owned. It has a really good gun turret here, but it's really old and comes off really easy. I probably could do a fix on that. Hello, some random dog. Ari, how you doing? Glad to see you joining me. Talking about G.I. Joe tonight. Copperhead from the Hilt. And thanks. I think it's cool too. Now, this cockpit came with a cover, canopy cover. Now, I have another version of this from the modern line that I'm going to show you as well. But I definitely wanted to take a really good look at this original. And this engine cover comes off, and this actually has a little little wheel here that you can spin, make the rotor go, and it's pretty cool. When I was a kid, it was really awesome. I thought it was one of the coolest things. Of course, definitely got to work on that turret. It's been a long time since I've even looked at this. I had to pull it out of storage to do this video, but I definitely wanted to show it off. Now, I did find something really cool about this, which I didn't know it could do, but I'm just getting used to having compressed air around. But let me see if I can get this on camera, where you can actually use compressed air to make this sucker go really fast. And the same with the newer one, but I think I want to save my compressed air to keep my computer clean. But I always like this boat. And Copperhead, I'm going to put him in there. And I'm probably going to leave him in there for a bit, because I'm going to probably put this over on my shelf and display it for a while. I usually do that when I do a video on him. Let me see if I can get him in here without wrecking the figure. He's really old, and so is the boat. But that's kind of, he can go down in there further, but I'm not going to press my luck with it. I'm going to leave it there. And my little Luna has decided that she wants to go in the bedroom, but I'm going to make her say hi first. You little brat. All right. Now, here is the Modern Lines version, and it came with another Copperhead. I generally don't show the 25th anniversary and later figures on this show. I have before, and I probably will again. But I would make it a special video that I was talking about the modern figures. Now, they redid the turret, and this boat's actually quite bigger than the original. So it's a total remold. And as you can see, this is like, if I can get this to the right spot. But yeah, as you can see, it's even way shorter. As you can see, I've pinned all the backs even. It's just this is a way bigger boat. Now the Modern Line figures were 4 inches instead of 3 3/4, so they were a little bigger. But this bad boy, and I have the blue version of this one too, but I could not find it. I looked all through my storage. I have stuff all over in my house and in my storage area. So sometimes I misplace things, and I think I've got another bit of Cobra vehicles that I'm missing, because there's quite a few things I'm like, I know I have that. I have the figures for it, so I know I have it. So anyway, the canopy on this comes off like the other one, and it stays on really good. As you can see, it was giving me some problems coming off. Let's see. DL says nice, and hello. Right, exactly. Oh, hello. But yeah, steps back on there. But you got to get it on there just right, and I'm not going to force it. I'm just going to let it go back in there. And it looks so much better with the canopy on there. But to put the figure in here, you have to take the canopy off, which is another reason I didn't bother going and grabbing my my modern version of the figure. Now, this particular engine cover doesn't come off like the original one does. These panels do come off, but I'm not going to pop them off, because, like the canopy, they were on there really good. But like this one, the original came with these fan blades on the back, but I never had those, and they were so fragile on the old one. They used to break right away, even when it was brand new. So most of those are not intact. I know there are some out there that are, probably a lot, but it has the same feature to spin the fan blade, and you can use the compressed air to spin that and the blade itself. And it's kind of cool. And it still has the same guns, and this gun port, they really did a really great job on. But it does have the sled. Yeah, the old one plugs on like a missile. This one actually slides out. And if I can get it to slide out, I will. But I'm not I'm not going to force it. This is probably about 15 years old now. So, and the plastic gets old, and it can become very fragile. It can break. So I try not to force things.
This one is still in really good shape, and I'm looking forward to finding my blue version of this because together they make a pretty good little fleet. It's pretty cool. Now, I probably had it out doing something with it, but it wasn't all together with my boats, which is weird. But that's how it is, as life goes, you know. Now I'm going to show you off the box art here for the classified figures, which is the meat of my videos here. I love showing off these classified figures. Now he was number 72 in the classified series. Classified series just puts them out whatever, you know, not like the original. It doesn't put them out in the same order. They just put out whatever they think is going to sell, I guess. But this particular box art is good, and apparently Luna wants back over here. You know, you need to stop it, over. I'll leave the door open a little bit, I guess. Tiger's already gone to sleep, so it should be all right. She usually can sleep once she's asleep. And I just has a hard time getting to sleep with her. So, but she's already crashed out. So now on the back it shows the figure and the accessories and a close up of his like tattoo or whatever feature they want to show off. And I have the second version in the classified line of him, which was from the Python Patrol, which I did show this guy off in my Python Patrol video. So there's the side art, and he's number 96 in the series. And the reason why I kept them both up here is so you can see that the difference in the packaging. The accessories, the only thing that's in the same spot is the pistol. The accessories are all the same. It's basically the same figure. It's just a remold, and it makes it look better. I do have an extension collection, but I do not have all of the classified line. I don't have all of the vintage line. That's an ongoing obsession to collect everything. I just picked up some really old stuff this week, and I showed it off on my Friday show tonight. That was a lot of fun, and I have a video out of the missile commander Hawk and his MMS mobile missile system. So, but that's a short, and it's easy to watch and check out. But anyway, on the front, they switched the weapons around and everything. Now, what's cool about these boxes is the artwork is completely, well, the pictures and the artwork are completely different. And you get a good sense of that on the side of the box art. Now, there's these, inside, they have these really cool foot lockers. And that's where you can store all their accessories. So each box has, it's also a way to keep the figure in place because the figure comes in the box like this. Now, the newer ones have the side art on inside the box art in black and white. I think that's really cool, and I like to show those off when I do these videos. Now, these boxes have the number of the figure, 72, and then the name of the figure on them. Like I said, I've got all his accessories out right now, so there's nothing in here. But the original packaging for the accessories came in, and they just slide right back in here easy. Now, the cool part about these ones that don't have the window packaging is that when you store them, you can just put them right in here, hang them right on the wall, and these puppies, a push pin on the wall holds these things up really well. And that's where I have most of mine right now, is on the wall. And I thank you, Ari. I appreciate that. Yeah, I think I have a pretty cool collection too. That's why I want to share it. And I keep getting more all the time. I just picked up a couple of new figures just day before yesterday. So just after my other live stream, it was kind of funny. Now, I'm not gonna bother with the foot locker, but I want to show off this interior art. It's like I said, the black and white art is really cool. So I really enjoy the artwork that they have for these. I'm not really fond of the picture of the figure over here. If I've got the right figure on it, that's really a picture of the figure in a pose, which is kind of neat. But I prefer the actual artwork. It always makes the figure better. Now, the Python Patrol is a sub team that actually he's the leader of. So you check out my Python Patrol video, I go into way detail on it, and it's not doesn't need to be said here. But again, this box art's really cool. So that takes us to the figures. Now, I think I'm going to get Copperhead out of the boat over here, and I'm going to show these right next to each other so that you can see how well of an update they did. They did a pretty good job of making him look almost the same. They did the colors a little different, and I think they actually did it better. And you can see why. Yeah, but like I said, I think they did the colors a little better. They had two different coloration versions of this original figure, and my other one has that other coloration. But like I said, it's not that big a deal. It's just different colors on the helmet. But the way they did this one, they made the stripe, the lighter green stripe, thinner, and it makes it look so much better. I think the bigger stripe, just I don't know, he kind of looks like a snake in this version, so that's pretty cool. Anyway, he comes with a really cool. The original one didn't come with anything because it came with the boat, and a lot of times the vehicle drivers didn't come with any accessories. But he comes with a machete, a little curved blade, and a little easy handle, and it just slides right in his hand pretty easy. But it just fits right into this frog is what they call it, a sword frog. But it's a sheath or a case, just a holder for a sword. But that's what they call it, is a sword frog. It's kind of weird, but that's what they call it. I looked it up a long time ago. Anyway, and then it comes with a sidearm, and it has a little, I don't know if it comes up on camera, but it has this little tab here that pops right over the gun, just like a real holster. Then he has this really neat pistol, and it just slides right back in, and you just pop this back on. And once you get it to stay, it stays pretty good. Now, he also came with another gun, which is just a bigger hand cannon, basically, with a scope on it. So he can shoot things from far away. Has the same like little strap that you can pop in, and there's a little, it's just making a little hole that you can push the little peg into. There we go. I think you can see it. Yeah. And the gun just, like I said, just slides right out once you've got that taken care of. And this gun is just sweet. It's got to be at least a 357 Magnum. And I'm going to actually put it in his hand so you can see how it looks with him holding it and pointing it at you. It's pretty cool. There you go. I just dig these figures, and as an adult collector, I love the fact that they've catered more to the adults than the kids. And I know the kids can still buy them and enjoy them, and they're really sturdy figures compared to the original. And the plastic's better, and they've come a long way. They had some issues when they first started doing them in this size, but I think they've pretty much got all the bugs out, especially by the time they did this figure. And I'm glad. And see that green coloration is on the inside of the thighs. It was that way on the original figure, but they basically had the mold of the leg half and half, and they screwed them together. And so the inside of the thigh and the lighter green was all the same color plastic. So it was a lot whiter. And like you can see, they made it a lot narrower on here. Yeah. And it just came out really cool. I mean, I think they did an outstanding job, especially on the face sculpt. He's got this mean look in his eyes, and he's supposed to be a bad guy. So, that's what's supposed to happen. So I'm going to set him over here, and then we're going to bring up the Python Patrol Copperhead and take a look, and then I'll bring them both up after I look at him, give you guys a look at him, and I'll show you the comparison between the two. Like I said, it's basically the same figure with just different colors. Now, I don't know why they made his head yellow, but they did that on the original Python Copperhead 2 back in 1988. Copperhead, the original came out in 1984, so he's been around a long time. The character has since the third year of GI Joe, so he's not a new character by any stretch of the imagination. But he is one of the cooler Cobras and less utilized. And I'll talk about that when I go into the media and comic books and stuff that GI Joe is famous for. But we'll finish talking about him after I give you guys a good look. And yeah, he comes with the same machete, but I like the fact that they made it red so you can actually see it better. That one, it's all black, and the blue one, and it's kind of harder to see sometimes. Well, at least for me, I don't have the vision I used to have. Let's just put it that way. But he does have this really cool patch on his chest of the Python Patrol, and then he's got one. Wait, see, no, it was just on the chest. Okay. The downside to this Python Patrol version is you can't see his tattoos on his arms because he's completely covered, and he had a decent tattoo on the inside of his forearm, if I remember right. Yeah, here it is. And so, but these upper arm guards or whatever the heck they are keep sliding off. But as you can see, he has it's a card, and I'm pretty sure it's the Ace of Spades. Yeah, so he's a gambler, so that just makes sense. His character is definitely a big time gambler. Now here you go. There's the difference between the two. They're pretty cool, and basically, like I said, the same figure, just different colors. And I don't know which one I like more, to be honest with you. I'm probably partial to the original because I had him from pretty much when I started collecting. He was one of the first figures I acquired within the first year of my collecting. So when I got the Python Copperhead, the original 1988 version that this is based off of, he had bright yellow pants for some reason. I'm glad they did not include that in this version. Other than that, it's pretty much the same. And I actually swapped him out for a black pair of pants way back when too. So, because the O-ring figures, these figures like this, there is a she all smiled. Thanks. The O-ring figures, these you could actually, there's a screw in the back there. You can actually take them apart completely. You can swap out the O-rings when they go bad and break, and you can also interchange the parts. It's kind of cool. A lot of people do what they call Frankensteining, and they make their own figures out of them. It's an interesting part of the hobby. I like to keep them the way they originally are, but that's probably just me. That takes us to the character of Copperhead, and like I said, he's a gambler. I'm going to play a video. Joe Takes 43 is what I called it. It's like a promo for my Joe Takes, and it helps me when I actually go to do the actual Joe Takes like I am tonight, because I can play the video at the end, and it includes artwork and a live video of me showing off the figures, and also a bunch of file cards. And in that, you can actually read, pause the screen or whatever, and read each file card if you want to, and you know all about the character of Copperhead. But I'm about to give you the gist of Copperhead and what he was and is to the Joeverse as a whole. Copperhead, like I said, was originally just the moccasin pilot. He basically didn't have a lot of media appearances. He wasn't in a lot of the cartoons. And the original Marvel Comics, which is what I based most of my headcanon off of, he wasn't in at all, except for one appearance in the file card books that they had. He was never in any of the stories, and they had the moccasin, the boat in there, but they never had it, the Copperhead there, its pilot. Now, in the cartoon, he was in some of the early episodes of the Sunbow cartoon in 85. He wasn't in any of the 86 episodes of the second season. They didn't get a third season. They didn't show him in any of the miniseries that are beforehand that I remember, because they had a miniseries in 83, 84. And then they had a miniseries in 85 to kick off the series, which was pretty cool. And like I said, he was only in a few of the Sunbow episodes. And to me, the most memorable ones were Jungle Trap, where basically Cobra Commander had shot down the Joes in their helicopters, and they were trapped in the jungle, and they had all these traps set up. And the Jungle Trooper and Duke and Snake Eyes and Scarlet and Rock and Roll had to meander their way through the jungle to get out. And Copperhead was piloting his moccasin through that with Cobra Troopers. And that's the only interaction he really had with Cobra, is with the Cobra Troopers. The only other real interaction he had was with the Dreadnoks, which I think they missed a lot of opportunities to have Copperhead with the Dreadnoks, because he lives in the swamp just like the Dreadnoks. He hangs out in all the same bars they hang out in. I mean, he's the same kind of guy. So I think at some point he probably should have joined the Dreadnoks. But at some point, I think that they lost track of all the characters, and so he was only in like I said, just like 2 or 3 episodes. But the one that stood out to me as my favorite episode, where he was with the Dreadnoks at the beginning, and that was Worlds Without End Part 1 and 2. But he was only in Part 1, and he's basically the reason the Joes got sent into an alternate timeline. It was pretty cool. Something to watch. Definitely worth watching. It's definitely my favorite episode of the Sunbow series. It's a 2-parter, so technically both of them. Let's see. Ari says, "Should I change you want to change your icon again, your picture, or just leave it like this?" That's up to you. I'm kind of set on the one I have now, but I used to use my picture all the time. But I kind of prefer the one I have. So you need to find one that you really like, and once you do, stick with it, because most people will just recognize you by your little icon. So the one you have right now is good, but if you want to change it, go for it, Ari. Okay, so the second series of animated G.I. Joe cartoons was from a company called Deke, and they started theirs with a 5-part miniseries. And Copperhead had a very prominent role in that. That was very cool too. So he wasn't completely excluded from media. So he had some cartoon appearances, and later on he was in Larry Hama's comics when he went over to IDW Comics, and right now they've switched to Image Comics again, and I can't remember the sub branch of that's part of. And is that Ari from Ari's World? I don't know. Some random dog. I know they're like 10 years old, and I think they live in like Australia or something. It's been I'm not 100% sure. She says, "Let me see what picture to use. Let me see my screenshots." Okay, well, pick the one that you really like, and once you get it, stick with it, because then people recognize you right away. All right, so the name sounds the same. Yeah, probably. Now, for the purposes of the Joeverse at large, that's Copperhead's story. Now, he had a few stories in some of the newer comics and stuff that I'm not familiar with. There is a couple from the Hobbiverse where him and Shipwreck went at it, and I have a comic book with that. It was pretty cool. Shipwreck was the G.I. Joe sailor, if you're not familiar with that, and I have done a video on him, so check that out. So for my headcanon and how I see Copperhead is the commander of Cobra's, not necessarily their naval legions, but their riverboat legions. And they have a lot of operations on rivers. So to me, that's where he falls into the chain of command. He's a mercenary. He's not necessarily a full-fledged member of Cobra. He works for Cobra, and basically has joined them to pay off his gambling debts, according to his file cards. It's a pretty interesting scenario, as it were. But for me, I always incorporated right in, and he was a Cobra, but he pretty much meandered around through it until he was hanging out with the Dreadnoks all the time. Never like a full-fledged member, just like he's not a full-fledged member of Cobra, but he was always hanging out with them. So that's the way I see Copperhead. Very cool character. Has a really strong Southern drawl, like maybe from Louisiana, and an interesting character all around. Most Cobras have a lot more backstory, so I think for my purposes, Copperhead he's in my top 10 of favorite Cobras. He's my number 8, and I just for some reason he resonated with me. I had a lot of fun with him as a kid and as an adult. I actually see him as more intelligent than most of the other Cobras. So I don't know why they didn't utilize him more, but in fact, his most famous line from the animated series was "Y'all need more brains." So, oh, they said, okay, all right, that looks cool. Hey, Ari, that does look cool. It's going to rejoin. Cool. Okay, so that's my take on Copperhead. I hope you've enjoyed it. I sometimes have a tendency to ramble on when I'm talking about these characters because I love them so much. So I'm gonna sign off here, and never mind, it just changed. Okay, no worries. I'm gonna play that video for you so you can see some of the images more close up and get a better view of it. You drew it, cool. That's even better. That makes it cooler, Ari. And like I said, there are file cards and artwork in there for you to take a look at. So, with that all being said, I am glad you caught me too, DL, and I'm glad. I hope you have a good night. I hope you have a good night, Ari, and thank you for joining me. That's for sure. I do enjoy it when people show up, but I really focus on making these videos for these characters, and I appreciate that you just listen to me ramble. So thanks for being here, and Logan out. So let me play this video for you, and I hope you enjoy it, and then I will see you next time.
In the heart of the city, shadows come alive. A ruthless spirit, no driver ready to take a dive. Copperhead is his name, his ambition untamed. Power of Cobra, no one can be blamed. Cobra's chase, the battle unfolds. G.I. Joe stands tall, brave and bold. Copperhead's game, dangerous affair. With justice in our hands, we'll display. In the depths of the night, the shadow takes the wheel. Copperhead take control. He's got that speed for skill. Yeah. Ruthless gambler, mercy in his eyes. He'll push it to the edge, take you by surprise. Whoa. Cobra's curse stands toying with our fate, but G.I. Joe won't back down. We'll never hesitate. From land to sea, we'll stand and fight. God's reign of terror will bring it to the light.
All right, let me stop this before it goes on to the next.
All right, it's over. Go on home now.
Yeah, don't listen to Samuel like, yeah, Jess is right. She doesn't know what he's talking about. Okay. I think I got that paused. So I'll bring that out of here. Yeah, it looks like I did. So bring that out of here. You taking off too, Sydney Cat? I was just going to shout you out. It's good to see you. thanks for joining us tonight, Sydney Cat and Monch. If you're still around, appreciate you joining us. It's good to have y'all jump in. That's why between each video, I was gonna shout people out and hope everything's going okay, Kate. And I hope they don't shut off your power. That would suck. Let's see. So Sydney Cat's taking off, so you be good tonight. Have a good night, Sydney Cat, and treat K okay. They really should not do that here. If it was underground, it would be as bad as hurricanes. Yeah. Well, in California, they just like to step all over everybody's liberties. They don't care. That's why I left. Okay. Now, all right, I got Copperhead's file card for you, so I'm going to play that, and then we'll jump into Hawk's video. Now, this is our season premiere for season 2, so I wanted to have a nice long video for you, and we'll see what happens next month. So, but this month, I got 2 more for you after Copperhead.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Cobra!
Vehicle operator, watercraft vehicle pilot, secondary specialty, swamp fighter. It is presumed that Copperhead is native to, or otherwise intimately familiar with, the rainforests of the Amazon basin. Intelligence sources venture a guess that he raced speedboats in high-stakes races in Monaco and Japan. His major weakness is gambling, and he is in debt to Cobra for a large sum of money without enough money to cover what he owes. He joined Cobra as a faster means of paying off his debt. Copperhead is native to, or otherwise intimately familiar with, the Florida Everglades due to his extensive knowledge of bayous and swamps. He's an expert mechanic and can drive any swamp vehicle or high-speed watercraft like the devil himself. However, it's his passion for gambling that gets him in the most trouble. This constant need of fast cash keeps him in the steady employ of Cobra. Besides, they can't let one of their best swamp fighters be taken out by a common bookie. Intelligence sources venture a guess that he raced speedboats in high-stakes races in Monaco and Japan. His major weakness is gambling. Odds are that he got started by placing bets on his own races, deeply in debt. He sold his services to the Cobra organization in hopes of paying off his bookies. His incredible skill at piloting any kind of watercraft through the treacherous swamps makes him a strategic asset to the Cobra forces. Rumor has it that he is also secretly working for Zartan and the Dreadnought Gang. Oh, they sure, I know the type. They're all around the Gulf Coast. Trash, drifters. They can drive a swamp buggy like the devil himself, rebuild a V8 with a coat hanger and spit, fight all night and raise cane till the cock crows. They got a heart full of gimme and a mouth full of much oblige. Live hard and drive fast. I can drive a swamp buggy like a demon, rebuild a V8 with just a coat hanger and some stick, fight all night and raise a ruckus until daylight, then start it all over again with pleasure. You all need more praise.
Go ahead and skip the YouTube bits and move right on into General Hawk's video. Let's see, I'll skip the intro this time. Need a bit.
Greetings. I'm Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer. Welcome to Joe Takes, episode 44, Hot from the Hilt. I'm going to start like I always do, but I got something big to show you, so it should be fun. Not my oldest example, but it's the oldest one I own, because I bought this in the store, is the General Hawk figure, the figure that came out in 1986. Now, I am actually going to be able to give you a closer look at this, but I want to show you what I have up here, and then I will do something a little fun. Let's see, so we got also the 1991 General Hawk that came with this backpack. It's really cool. Like I said, I'm going to try something a little different here, but here we go. Let's try this out. See what we got going on here. See, I got the original 1982. Do this right. Straight arm Colonel Hawk. Now, I got a video of this. And its plastic is really old and brittle, so I'm being really careful. But this figure is in such good shape. It's almost pristine. I mean, whoever owned this, I just bought this for the last month. And whoever owned it before me took really good care of it. The only thing I had to do was replace the O-ring in it. You know, a lot of fun. So let me try to stay on the screen at the same time. It even came with the file card, which is kind of cool. And the original Hawk was, and not a general, he was a colonel, 06 in the Army. And he was a West Point graduate. His file card's pretty cool, but we'll get to that in a minute. I wanted to show the MMS that he came with as a towed vehicle, so I busted out my Vamp Mark II here because it was already out. I generally have it out because it's my favorite Vamp, but I do have the clutch that comes with that. But I'm going to go over that all in my clutch video when I do that video. I do have the Vamp on pre-order, so I should be getting that within the next few months. It says by May, so we'll see how that works out. I'm not going to schedule it until I have it, but I'm going to take this and set it over here out of the way, and then I'm going to put this in its base mode, which is kind of cool. It's got this little stand here, and then these little feet come out. I don't know if you can see that properly. Now, this is kind of a makeshift setup that I've got going on today. I really do want to be able to set this on a different table so that you get a better look at it without my arm in the way. But my missile launcher comes off really easy, as you can see. Mine is not in the best of shape. Again, I got this at a comic book store in a trade for other figures about 3 years ago, and I just barely acquired the Hawk at a really good price to go with it. So it's a nice set. Now this actually goes on this stand, and you push it in there and plug it in there, and then it stands. And see, with this cord that they put in there, it pulls it really, really hard and really easy, so it makes it so that it just falls over. But I have to set it up just right to get that. There's a little plastic thing to it. It's like almost like a it's not a zip tie, but it's something similar. So this goes, if I put it the right way and at the right distance from the MMS. If I can do this right, it sets up like that, and then Hawk is supposed to be able to control the missiles from there. Now the missiles, each of these missiles are, I'm only going to take one off because it's really a pain to put them back on, but these missiles are pretty cool. And for coming out in 1982, this was a nice little accessory you could get, and it towed around with either the Vamp or the Mobat tank, so it was kind of cool. The other one that came out that was a trailer that year was the HAL, which I have that also. And at some point, if they bring out a classified Grand Slam, they pop into place there. That's right. If they come out with a classified Grand Slam, I will take a look at that one too, because I have the 1983 version of Grand Slam, so I will be able to take a look at a vintage Grand Slam. And then I didn't get another Grand Slam until the modern line, so I just have the one vintage figure. But let me see how this is going to look here. This Hawk, like I said, I played the death out of this Hawk, but I ended up acquiring a second one and replaced his arms because the other one was in really bad shape, even worse than this. His crotch is missing, and there's a few little details, and the knees are so old, and I know how to do a repair on the knees. I'm kind of lazy, and I spend more time doing other things. But This helmet was always an issue. It seemed a little oversized, and the main issue I had with this hawk is that he's not a blonde. He was never a blonde in the cartoon. He always had dark hair. I know they did that to differentiate him from Duke, but originally he was a blonde, as you'll be able to see here in a second, because I'll come over here and take the colonel's hat off, his helmet here, with his visor, and as you can see, Hawk is a blonde. Now, later on in the modern line, they came out with a Hawk in that outfit, but had blonde hair, so it's kind of cool. So we've set him over here. Now, I don't want to put him on a battle stand. He stands up really well on his own, because the plastic's really old, and I don't want him to break any of it. Now, this figure, now I had some of these other missiles from a different figure, but they were the same style. But I can't remember what it's from, to be honest with you. And he only came with one of these machine guns. It's almost like a shotgun, an automatic shotgun. It's pretty cool. And each of the missiles could fire off there. But I was missing one, so it was kind of good that I acquired these other two for a backup. But this backpack folds out like leaves, and so it's pretty bad. So I thought, for a 91 figure. Now, when they started getting all weird and colorful, they actually did this Hawk figure justice, and I was so happy to acquire it. Now this helmet comes off, and as you can see, it's General Hawk with the dark hair again. But that's how he was from in the vintage line from the '86 figure on. So there you have General Hawk as he basically had with the jetpack. He could go around and spot things for his troops, and call in missile strikes and everything, because that's what he does. He's a missile commander, so he knows all about radar and armor defeating weapon systems. So his counter in Cobra, they always pit him against Destro, but it's really Cobra Commander. I think Destro is more Duke. They always say Duke and Destro, but not really, as far as I'm concerned, at least not in the comic book. In fact, the only time that Duke and Cobra Commander met is when they took Cobra Commander prisoner in one really early story arc in the 20s. That was even before the Snake Eyes origin. And that was a real cool storyline. I've talked about that on Joe Takes before. So in my Roadblock video, I think I really did a pretty good look at that. I'm pretty sure it was Roadblock. So that's what I have here. I'm going to show you this trailer a little bit more detailed, but what I want to do is take this off of here and put this back. What I liked about this is it just kind of sits right down in here, and it's almost like it's part of the trailer. Yeah, I'll take the missiles off. I already kind of showed you those, but I'll give you a better look at the actual trailer. And these just like pop up and down for it to stand when it's not being towed. And it has really good wheel design. This is where they cared about what they were making, I think. They were trying to get people to love G.I. Joe, and I think they succeeded even with the original 13. My missiles, like I said, don't stay on very well. This is not a very good example of an MMS. Mine doesn't spin around like it's supposed to. It's actually glued in place, probably because it was broken. But I've never taken it apart to see if I can fix it, because I don't know. It may be broken worse if I do that. But there it is, complete and intact. At least all the parts are there. Now I know this cord is not the original one, but it works, and that's not the way I would have done it, but they did a pretty decent job of repairing it, and it also kept that piece from being lost. So that's a plus when you're dealing with really old vintage toys. And like I said, these two are really cool figures, and I've got my classified one over there that I'm going to be taking a good look at here too. But the first thing we're going to do is we're going to look at this classified box. Now, this is 103 in the classified series, and this artwork on the side is really decent. Like I said, I'm not a big fan of the pictures, but this wasn't bad. And of course, you know, you have the foot locker, so you put it, so you can stow all his accessories in. And the numbers all there, so it has a name and number. Which, like I said, they're going back to window packaging, so they stopped doing the foot lockers, which is a bummer because I thought that was a plus with these non-window packaging. And it's just good black and white art if I can get the light in there without shining on it. It's pretty cool. So yeah, that's not bad. I can do it up there too. I'm just getting used to using this second camera. Like I said, it'll be a lot better once my studio's set up and I got my ceiling back, so I'm not too far away from having this happen here. Yeah, probably within the next couple of weeks, should be able to set up my studio because they'll be done with the work down here that they're doing, renovations on my house, which were kind of a necessity because of water damage. But that's the way it is. But here's your classified hawk. Now, what's cool about this is I can do this. So you got the new hawk, and I don't know how well he's picked up on the camera, but they did a pretty good job of making these guys look very similar. Some of these new and old figures look very similar. I think I showed you that before, but giving you the side by side on the camera at least. And you know, he had his pistol on the side, just like he had a holster for one on here, no actual pistol, because he had the pistol, but he did have the holster with the gun molded on here, as you can see right there. So they did a pretty good job of updating the new Hawk to the 1986 Hawk, which is the iconic looking Hawk. This is how most people see Hawk, and I agree, it's pretty cool. I would love to see a classified version of Hawk like this. That's pretty cool too. I love the jetpack and the way that works with the missiles and everything, and it's a lot of fun. So there's the figures, and I'm gonna set these guys aside, and I'm gonna turn off this other camera, and I'm gonna get back up here to full screen. So I'm gonna take this out of here and stop camera extra. There we go. So back full screen, and so I'll be able to reach my keyboard and do all that kind of stuff. So I'm gonna read this file card real quick. Like I showed you before, and he's the missile commander, codename Hawk, grade 06 Colonel, which they don't put Colonel on there, but that's what in the Army at 06 is. His file name is Clayton M. Abernathy. I'm not going to go over the serial number because it's just make believe anyway. Primary military specialty is artillery, like I said, so he knows how to fire things from a distance, mortar, but he mainly specialized in larger missiles. And then he also, his secondary military specialty is radar. Hawk comes from a well-established, real-loaded family. He is rich. He's a West Point graduate, top of class, and has seen action in a number of trouble spots. Graduated advanced infantry training, covered ops school, served on Cadre, North Atlantic Range Command, and U.S. NCOM EVR, missile and radar training classified. He's a qualified expert in M16, the M1911A1 auto pistol, which he actually came with. And he is keenly intelligent and perceptive and quite capable of totally selfless acts in support of his teammates and excellent leader. So I thought this was a really decent file card for when it came out. Now the 86 file card, which is going to be in the video we'll play at the end, which is on Joe Takes 44, shows that it shows the other file cards in detail, including that one. But I have it, so I thought I'd read it to you. So that's where we're at on that. So that takes us to where his media appearances were, comics, and in the animated series. I'll talk about the animated series a little bit. Well, actually, until I'm done talking about it. But the whole idea of Hawk in the cartoon was he really didn't exist until the season 2 of the Sunbow series. which is kind of sad because he's the original GI Joe leader. You know, he's the commander. And so it was sad to me that they created a character named Colonel Sharp to replace him. And Colonel Sharp basically functioned as Hawk. And I don't know why they just didn't say he was Hawk. It didn't make sense to me. I don't know why they did it that way. I know they wanted to differentiate Hawk from Duke, and that's fine. And they didn't want Hawk to take the spotlight away from Duke for whatever reason. They wanted to promote Duke, and that's fine because Duke was the new big figure at the time, and he was their John Wayne representation. So, and at the time, John Wayne was pretty big. So I get all that. But then they brought him out in '86 as an action figure, and then they put him in the series, and they even mentioned in the series that he was the original field commander of GI Joe and all that. So if I had the opportunity and I had the rights and permission, and I could remix the entire Sunbow series, I would make Colonel Sharp Colonel Hawk, and say he got a promotion in the second season. So that you know, I think that's I think it's relevant that they had a colonel in that position where Hawk's supposed to be, and they didn't make it Hawk. I don't know why, but Hawk and Grand Slam were really the only two original 13 Joes that were not in an animated series. Let's see about this. Get rid of that red light that's in my glasses for some reason. But in the cartoon, when he finally came on the scene, he basically just took over. Duke took a big backseat in season 2, which they were trying to promote the new figure, and I get that. Duke was still there, and he still had a big authority position. He was Hawk's senior NCO and second in command of the entire team, which was cool. And then came Flint and Beachhead, and then Sergeant Slaughter. So it was they kind of organized the command structure of the season 2 of the Sunbow animated series, which was pretty cool, and it really worked out in G.I. Joe the movie. And I know a lot of people don't like some of the stuff that happened in G.I. Joe the movie, but it wasn't a bad movie. It wasn't a great movie. I like a lot of the stuff that happened in it. I like some of the characters that they added, like Nemesis Enforcer. I like the Royal Guards. I know a lot of people don't. I did not like Galamios, but I did like Pythona. So basically, their cast for their Cobra Law, I liked. I didn't mind it when I was a teenager. Of course, the Cobra Law was annoying, but I find it kind of funny as an adult, and I get it, you know. And so that's kind of how that all comes about. That might be my keyboard actually, with that red light. Oh, so sorry about that. So there are very few issues that really, there are very few episodes of the series that stood out for Hawk. One was Secondhand Emotions, where Cobra actually injected with a little gun behind the ear a little device that sent harmonic sounds into them and that controlled their emotions, and it was a really fun and interesting episode. And the other one was Nightmare Assault, and Hawk was definitely in the forefront and taking the lead. And that was a really cool one. It went into some detail, but that was really a Lowlight episode. So I'll probably talk more about it if and when I do a Lowlight video, because I do have Lowlight classified and I have the vintage. So that should be fun to look at. So, and so in the cartoon, he was the commander as of the second season. I think he should have been all the way through. They had that position taken over by Colonel Sharp for whatever reason. And I don't dislike the Colonel Sharp figure. I actually like him, but I think that should have been Hawk, and I don't know why they didn't do that. So that takes us over to the comic book, where Hawk was predominant as the G.I. Joe commander. Yeah, once Duke showed up, yes, he did a lot of field missions and everything, but throughout the entire Marvel run, at least, of the 1 to 155 issues, Hawk was the main leader. Now, in the IDW run from 156 to 300, Duke kind of took a more leadership role, and Hawk took more of a backseat because he became more of a general and basically was in the Pentagon a lot. And that was cool. but it was kind of reminiscent of the cartoon where Duke just took over and Hawk took a backseat. Well, like I said, whatever. Duke's still his senior NCO. It's still in command of the Joes. When Hawk's not there, and when Hawk's there, he is in command. So it's kind of cool. I wanted to show off a couple of my favorite covers with Hawk on it. Now, there's a few others. I mean, issue 155. Hawk is actually on the cover, folding up the U.S. flag, and they're closing the pit because they got disbanded. That's how the series ended. But of course, they came back in the IDW series. Now they've moved on to issue 3 from 301 in a Image series, and I actually have 301, but it's interesting. I'll give it that. And Larry Hama still continues to write. It's still got that same Larry Hama feel to it, so I like that. Now, for those of you who don't know, Hawk, like I said, was originally in his green uniform. This one here, and I like the contrast between this cover and the other one because they both have the different covers. Now, this was issue 16, a very pivotal issue because this is the one where Baroness was in a his take that got blown up and she got severely burned, and they even talk about it in their file card. It's kind of cool. Of course, we have issue 15 on the back, and Hawk in this, and Destro did fight it out, and actually Hawk ended up in the hospital because Cobra Commander shot him, but he was wearing a vest, and so it was all good. But so that's like I said, that's the contrast I wanted to show between the Hawk uniform and the original green uniform. To me, he just put on a jacket. It's kind of the same uniform, and now in the action figure, he has camouflage pants that he doesn't have in the original green fatigues, but in this particular cover, he does have the regular green fatigue, so he's in his original uniform, just with the bomber jacket, and it's kind of cool. I think that's what that's called, is a bomber jacket. I don't remember. And there's the 127 on the back. It's issue 128. Well, actually, 128's on the back of 127 because that's the way I store my comics. But this particular cover has a lot of significance. Years later, they had an IDW issue with Lady J, and they had Flint laying on the ground, very similar to this. It looked very similar. It's kind of cool, and it was a nice homage to this particular cover like this, with Lady J sticking around to help Hawk, and he had ordered her to leave, and she said, "With you being injured, sir, I'm in command," and she would not leave him, and it was really cool, very heartwarming, and very well written issue of G.I. Joe. Most of them were. Larry Hama was just the greatest G.I. Joe writer ever. I don't think anybody's going to top Larry Hama. So that's the comics, the cartoon. Now, for my headcanon and my Joe verse, Hawk is definitely the commander. He's the kind of leader that goes out and gets shot at like everybody else, is what it said in his file card. And in his 86 file card. And I don't know why they're steering away from that. I get that Duke's supposed to be the big G.I. Joe leader. I never saw him that way because I was a comic book guy. Hawk was always the leader. Yeah, Duke was, he was the field commander and stuff a lot. But Hawk was always in command, and I still see him that way. I see Duke as his senior NCO, non-commissioned officer. So I've discussed this many times before, but a lot of people have a beat on for Hawk, and I don't know why. I get it, but at the same time, Hawk did what he had to do, and a lot of people don't understand that Hawk is a West Point graduate, and he's an old school West Point graduate, and that's his training to keep a distance from his troops, and basically, he had to keep things from him. That's the way he was taught to be an officer at West Point. And knowing my military history a little bit better than maybe some other people do, I don't know it perfectly, and I'm not going to claim to be a historian or anything. I may claim to be a G.I. Joe historian because I know a lot about it. I don't know a lot about the newer stuff. I'll say that. So I would say anything that's vintage and maybe the early 2000s. I do know quite a bit about. Um, I don't know everything. GI Joe is huge, so it's impossible to know everything about GI Joe. I mean, it's not impossible, but if you know more than I do about GI Joe, then you are super into it, and my hat's off to you, sir. But what have you? So for like I said, for my headcanon, Hawk is he's a really cool officer. He does what he has to do to get the job done. And yes, sometimes that means he has to sacrifice his men, but that is the way he was taught. Now, on the same token, Hawk won't sacrifice his men if he's not willing to be sacrificed himself. So there's that. And I don't think a lot of people take that into account. And yes, there are certain things he did throughout the G.I. Joe comic that may be seen as being a dick or whatever, a jerk. But like I said, it's his training. It's part of who and what Hawk is. Without Hawk, there is no G.I. Joe as far as I'm concerned. At least as far as the G.I. Joe team. Now, of course, you had your original General Colton, who led the original Joes back in the 60s and 70s, and that's cool. I like General Colton. I like him a lot. And I know he helped put together the G.I. Joe team from behind the scenes. That's cool, but he was basically retired, and it's pretty cool that Larry Hama brought Joe Colton into our vintage line, and then ran on up till today, so much so that he was in G.I. Joe Retaliation. Now, I thought it was a little odd that they did not have Hawk in G.I. Joe Retaliation, but that's how it is. But Hawk was in G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and I know a lot of people call it a popcorn movie. I went into it with expectations, knowing that they were going to totally change the story, and they did. But they did it in such a way that it was a fun, entertaining movie, and I don't think they steered too far away from the tradition of G.I. Joe to make it a bad movie, but they were also updating it for a modern audience, and I thought they did it very well. I'm a big fan of the G.I. Joe movies. I'm not super fan of Snake Eyes as a G.I. Joe movie. I think it's a good movie. I don't think it's Snake Eyes. It's a modern interpretation of Snake Eyes, and that's fine. But to me, that's actually a movie about Storm Shadow and not Snake Eyes. So that's how I see that. But I covered that in my Kiko video when I covered all the G.I. Joe Snake Eyes Origins movie figures and stuff. It was kind of fun to do that too, because I did enjoy that movie. But again, I don't see it as a G.I. Joe movie, but they did some things right. I did like the Baroness in that. I did like Scarlet in that. I did like Storm Shadow. I liked Akiko as a character. So there it is. And I veered off topic. But Hawk was in G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra, and I thought he was portrayed very well by Dennis Quaid. I like Dennis Quaid as an actor, so it was just, to me, it was very fitting and a no-brainer. So it played very well for me. So I know a lot of people have varied opinions on it. That's cool. Everybody has a right to their own opinion, and I like that. I like the feedback and the various opinions, but we should be able to have a conversation about our opinions, and maybe like, I'm okay with your opinion, you should be okay with mine, and that should be how that works, because we're all part of the same community, really. So that's the way I see that. So there is my take on Hawk, and I hope you enjoyed it. And I'm gonna play the Hawk video on Joe Takes for Hawk. Joe Takes 44 right now, and thank you for joining me, and I'll see you later.
It's tonight when evil reigns supreme. A hero will rise, fulfilling his every dream. With courage and honor deep in his soul, he's General Hawk, the G.I. Joe's control. Oh yeah. Yellow Joe, together we stand, united we fight. Yellow Joe, with honor and might, we'll make it right. back down. With a G.I. Joe, the best around. Ooh, yeah. The world of balance got this on the rise. A fearless leader emerges with fire in his eyes. He's got strategy, he's got heart, he's ever fight with might. General Hawk takes his stand and ready to fight. JoJo, united we stand, we're ready to go. JoJo, against Cobra we overflow. With courage and honor we'll never rest. JoJo, together we'll defeat the enemy's quest. In the heat of battle, when the stakes are high, a leader emerges up to the sky with a heart of steel and a burning desire. General Hawk is here, ready to inspire. JoJo, shout it out, ready to go. Standing tall, facing Cobra's blow. With the strength of teamwork, we'll prevail. JoJo, we will never fail. Getting some dinner right now, but let me pause this before it goes on to the next video here and pull this out off the screen here, and I'll play Hawk's file card for you and his music video. So let me get this done here properly. Here's Hawk.
Commander, G.I. Joe General, Final name, Clayton Abernathy, 010 General U.S. Army, Birthplace, Denver, Colorado, primary specialty, artillery, secondary specialty, radar, qualified expert, M16, M1911 A10 pistol, graduated, advanced infantry training, Cobra Ops School, served on Cannon North Atlantic training, Cobra Ops School, served on Cannon North Atlantic Range Command, USA anti-cover medium missile and radar training. Further training is classified. Preferred weapon, M1911 A10 pistol. Hawk was the original field commander of the Joe team before he got his general star. It was booted upstairs to hunt on the entire G.I. Joe operation. He's a West Point graduate and has a list of special education credits as long as his arm, but he still managed to get the main body of his experience out there where it counts, on the battlefield. Hawk comes from a well-established, really loaded family. He's a West Point graduate, top of class, and has seen action in a number of trouble spots. As a rule, general officers direct battle from the safety of the rear echelon, but the commander of a tightly coordinated, rapid deployment force like the G.I. Joe team has to be right on top of the action at all times, ready to make split-second decisions on tactical developments as they happen. The combination of jetpack and communications helmet allows Hawk to survey the progress of battle as well as keep in constant radio contact with all elements of his command. From General Colton's file.
Some generals like to come out and give a nice speech before a fight full of go-get 'em in Yay team, and that's the last you see of them until the dust settles and they're back up from the rear again, handing out medals and trying to look as battle-weary as they can in starch fatigues. When Hawk takes you into a hairy situation, he's usually in front of you yelling, "Follow me."
He is keenly intelligent and perceptive, and quite capable of totally selfless acts in support of his teammates. An excellent leader. Hawk's the type of commander who goes out and gets shot at like everyone else. Troops respect that. They know he won't ask them to do anything he isn't willing to do himself, and that's why they're willing to do anything Hawk tells them. The commander of any team must be an example to his troops in courage, dedication, and skill.
G.I. Joe is the code name for America's daring, highly...
Let's get the YouTube bits here, and I'll play that music video for you.
In this world of madness, Cobra making their moves. Half the leader stands firm with style and flair. He's got honor, he's got courage, he's amplified with insight. General Hawk takes a stand, ready to fight. Sis saying, lady, Sid benefited from all his experience. Yeah, well, I didn't have much experience when I met the tiger, but I was,
I was always good to her, and I still am. At least I try to be. But that's what we all should do, right? All right, let's jump into the last one. This is Eels. He's a troop builder. I don't have a lot of them, but I got enough to show you. So let's check out Eels from the Hilt, and I'll try to skip the intro for that one too. All right, that's too far. Here we go. Greetings. I am Logan, the G.I. Joe Gamer, and welcome to Joe Takes 45. Tonight we're talking Eels from the Hilt. This should be interesting. It's another true builder kind of episode. I don't really have a super lot about Eels, but I do have some. So like normal, we'll start out with the vintage eel, which I don't have the proper accessories for, but I do have some. So there's Eels. And I have the accessory pack flippers on him, so that's why they're an odd color, and that one's kind of cracked. This is a really old figure. I do have his original gun. I did have the original accessories at one point, but I don't know what happened to them through play or whatever. I was 15 when I got this figure, so a long time ago. And this little accessory part comes off the backpack. It's like a jet assist underwater. It's kind of cool. And the Eels, he used to have a little hose that attached here to his face on these two little pegs. I don't know if you can see those, but the pegs on mine are intact. I don't have the air mask that it used to come with, but it was attached to two little wires that just attached to the backpack. It was pretty cool. I have an extra accessory backpack, but not the little extra jet assist thingy. So I only have one of those little extra bits, but that's the original Eels. I do love the colors of the original Eels, and it used to have this really, really pretty, It's silver. Let me see this. I have more light here. Yeah, that'll work. Cobra emblem on his chest, but he doesn't have that anymore. It wore off through play, just how it is. All right. Now to the evolution of Eels through the vintage line. The next thing that came out was what they call the Hydro Viper. Now, a lot of people don't consider this an eel, but they take Cobra eels to make these. So to me, this is like another step in the eel direction there. And I do have all of his accessories except for his original knife. But I have a knife from either an accessory pack or another character. This is the one he came with, the style anyway, a nice little jagged knife. But the original one is black like his gun and his backpack. I'm going to take a look at his mask and his helmet here in just a second. But he also came with a Stingray, which is kind of cool. And somehow through my collecting, I ended up with two. So I actually always have two with him. So that's kind of cool. But yes, his mask, this mask comes off and he has just a plain old face underneath. So I'm going to take the backpack off with it because it's all attached. But I think it looks so much better with the mask on. And Hydro Viper is with the mask on. They call it the Demon of the Deep. And I can see why. It kind of reminds me of the creature from the Black Lagoon, only in red. So let's see if I get that really good. Just getting used to my new setup here in the dungeon, in our new studio area of my basement. Next in the vintage line was Eels 2, and they actually came out with him in different colors, but I prefer the first one. Now, he came with gray flippers that look like this, and I do have these. These actually do not fit his feet, so it's kind of weird. But I don't know if I get a good view of those. But that's what they look like, only they're gray. And oddly enough, his gun was a bright yellow, but I ended up having either an accessory pack one or a monkey wrench one. And this figure actually is really cool looking. I always like this guy. A lot of people don't. A lot of people like the other colors on him. I prefer these. I love the blue, the contrast between the blue and the kind of slightly greenish yellow and the red visor. I love the red visor. It's just pretty cool. And I know it's a little over the top and hokey, but it was a 90s figure, so there you go. Now, I do have one other not necessarily not considered vintage, although it's more than 20 years old now, so it should be considered vintage. It came out in 2003 or 4. I'm pretty sure it came out in 2003, and that's the Electric Eel. And he came with this this trident that also came with the original undertow. So I actually have several of those, but I put those back when I went through the accessories. So he's got this trident, and the trident it's pretty cool. I like it. Gun's neat. And these claws actually come off and they extend on his hands. So he can actually hold his accessories and have the claw hands on at the same time, which I always thought was neat. And he didn't need flippers because he had them built in on his ankles, which I thought was really neat. And then this used to light up. I don't have the batteries. I don't have a battery in there anymore, and I don't have one that works that's in that size. I probably could have taken it apart, maybe tried to figure that out, but I didn't really have the time tonight, and I should have done it during the week, but I totally forgot about that. I was going to show off my Electric Eel, and what it does though, when it does light up, it actually shines all the way through this figure. He's made of like kind of translucent plastic. It's kind of cool, and so like maybe you can see there with the light shining through there, how it kind of just there. Oh yeah, there you go. That's pretty cool. I really like the Electric Eel. Some people don't consider that an eel, but again, he's an Electric Eel, and he was actually infused with, I'm pretty sure, ill venom, the Valor versus Venomblog. So that's where we are with that. Now, I'm going to keep these figures set aside over here because and the original over there, because I'm going to be comparing it to the classified figure in just a bit. Now, for some reason, they came out with what they called an underwater trooper. It's basically a different version of the Eels. This was based off the Menace of the Mass Device movie, but this doesn't even really look like they were all red. But this outfit looks really cool, so I thought I'd share this carded figure with you because I would say this would be before Eels. This was an eel, and then Cobra, of course, upgraded to the Eels. And like I said, if you get that really good silver emblem, the one on the vintage was big. It was a lot bigger than that. So it's just, you can see it, but not at the same time. There we go. Yeah, nice little silver Cobra emblem. And this one, the helmet comes off and everything, and it's a decent figure. And I don't normally show off the modern line, but I do like to show the carded figures when I have them. I did have General Hawk carded, but I forgot to show him in my Hawk video last week, so maybe another time. Who knows? If they actually come out with a 91 Hawk in classified, I will take a look at it. Now, the classified box for the Eels is pretty cool. I enjoy it. I should probably do this. Okay, there we go. Keep wanting to go closer to where I have my camera, but with my new setup, my camera's like way over there. It's weird, but I'll get used to it. And this is the artwork for this was really good, and there's a better version of it on the side. He's number 81 in the series, which they don't show that on the top of the box anymore. I wish they still did. They do have it on this side, 81, if I put it up there correctly. And then, of course, on the back, they have a picture of the eel with his accessories and a couple of close-up shots with him wearing the accessories, which I'll be showing that to you in just a bit. Now, in the box, the figure actually came in a box, this box here. Now, this box is, it has that really cool artwork, only in black and white. I love how they did this, and with the window packaging, we're not going to get these anymore. Nor are we going to get, for whatever reason, the Cobra footlockers or the G.I. Joe footlockers, where it says the name of the figure and the number in the classified series. I really like these. I am going to miss them. I really am. So that's just me, probably, but I like the idea of the footlockers, and they just didn't want to continue that when they went back to the window packaging. Maybe they'll get around to it. We'll see. Like I said, big, shiny silver Cobra emblem, and the classified figures have that in spades. If I can get his foot on this peg, I'll hold him up here, and he doesn't want to go. But there we go. As best I can. It's not really on there, but I'm showing you this version of him without the helmet on, because I have one all geared up that I'm going to show you, because I have two of these. I ended up getting two, which is, I'm happy because I love the eel. The eel is definitely my favorite looking, and the character of the eel, of what he is and what he does, and for Cobra. He's always been my favorite Cobra troop builder. I always wanted more vintage ones, but I never was able to get the old ones. But anywhere with the old ones, I still could. I mean, but they're pretty expensive. I was going to get one, but I was like, nah, not right now. Here he is all geared up with the new style of flippers, and he's got a spear gun instead of a sonic gun, which I'm a little disappointed in that. The helmets, you can actually see their face through the visor. Let's put this over here where I can take a better look. Keep wanting to put them closer to the camera, but I might be able to angle that camera different. I'll get it worked out, but it's the first time I've done a Joe Takes with this setup here. He's got this little cool gauge on his wrist, so he can know his depth, and it's probably where his communication device is too, which is linked up to his helmet, which has a little antenna there for reception. And then, of course, you got the backpack, and it has its own variation of the Jet Assist little rotors there on the backpack. This backpack is pretty cool. Let's see if I can get the light shining on there. Maybe. It doesn't really show a lot anyway. There's a couple holes in the bottom of it, but it's kind of neat. I do like this, and he does have a knife on his leg, which does come out, and it's a decent little knife. So let me get off my hat so you might be able to actually see it. But it has a red handle, which I thought is neat, because if you're underwater, you don't really want people to see your shiny blade, but you want to be able to see your handle, so you can get your hilt, so you grab a hold of that. And that is the classified eel. Now, what I wanted to do was take the vintage and the classified and show you side by side these two figures. I mean, they did a pretty good job of updating it for the original one. I wish I had the hose to show you, because it's almost dead on looking, at least the helmet. But I don't know why they didn't give him his classic sonic gun, because underwater a sonic attack would be deadly. But that harpoon gun works too, but that's pretty much the same. I'm pretty sure that's the same one that comes with torpedo. So they did a cost-cutting measure on that one to to save money, so they didn't have to do a second version of a harpoon gun, which makes sense. I mean, but why not give Eels his sonic weapon? This is an awesome figure. I liked it so nice, I bought it twice. That's just how it is. Now, that takes us over to we got all the figures, so that takes us to the media appearances of Eels. Now, he was in the comics. Larry Hama didn't do a lot of issues with him. I mean, there was a few, and anytime they had nautical stuff, they had Eels there. And for the most part, they were just background in the background. There was the time where Cobra invaded the original pit over at Fort Wadsworth, and the Eels came up on the shore, and Flint and Lady J was the only ones who spotted them. And Flint ordered Lady J to go warn the others, and he went and took them on by himself. Now, I thought that was some really cool stuff, because the Eels are tough, and it took all of them to take him down. There was like at least 6 of them, and so once they had him down, the other one said, "All right, we got to go fulfill our mission. We're on a clock." and they left one of them behind to kill Flint. That was a mistake because Flint got up and took care of him, even all beat up. But that was a cool issue, and I think that was issue. So they invaded the pit, so that was like 54, 55, somewhere around in there. Really good run on the Marvel comics of G.I. Joe by Larry Hama. In the cartoon, they were in quite a few episodes. Again, just in the background, nautical episodes where if they had Torpedo, they had him, but they really didn't have the Eels versus Wetsuit a lot, which I thought kind of odd. They should have had the Eels more, but they didn't. There was a really cool episode of the first season called The Germ that they had a big appearances, but they weren't really Eels. They were just Cobra Troopers and a Crimson Guard who put on eel suits. So either that or they had cross eel training, but generally not in Cobra. But that's basically the only media appearances that they have. Background and not really anything in the forefront. There was no real story about the Eels in either the comics or in the cartoon. Now there was the Special Missions #1 where they had the Eels going up against Torpedo and Wetsuit, and that was kind of nice. So Larry Hama did do that a few times, but overall, Eels not so much. So that would take us to where I see Eels in my Joeverse, in my headcanon. I kind of see them the same way, but having them be my favorite looking for me trooper. And this vintage figure, I don't know if you can see that. His thumbs are missing, and I know I managed to get his gun in his hand, even though his thumb has worn off on that side. But on this side, maybe I can get it to show where his thumb is. There it is, yeah. His thumb is gone. And, these older figures, that would happen a lot. Hello, Kiwi Customs. How you doing? Nice to see you. I'm just about to wrap up my take on Eels, but I dig this figure. I really dig the classified figures. I mean, with or without the helmet, these guys are pretty cool. And so there you are. I love the silver emblem on the Eels. Pretty cool. Now, like I said, I see them as just their frontline nautical fighters, and if I had more of them, that would be cool. But that's why I got 2 for the classified line, because that's what I like. If I'm going to display them, I want at least 2 Eels in there, because I know they're going to come out with Wetsuit, and they already have Torpedo, who I have right there, and I've already done his episode. So if you want to check that out, I do have a Torpedo take on the Joe takes. Eels are badass. I agree, Kiwi. They're totally badass. So, as far as rank is concerned in Cobras have an odd rank system. It's hard to put a handle on it. I would kind of rank them in just under like a Crimson Guardsman because of all the training that they have, and then to go on to be other things, you have to have Eels training. Okay, let me see here. You will catch up on the replay, brother. Okay, well, thank you, Kiwi. I appreciate that. I need to start checking out more of your stuff too. I've been run ragged with my renovations this last couple of weeks, and we finally got all that done. And so we have a decent bathroom, and I was able to move back. Well, I moved into here for the first time finally. And as soon as we get this all set up, I'm going to have some really cool stuff displayed, and so like. Back there, as you can see, I've got some of my Joe figures already out. Yeah, awesome. Thank you. This wall here, I have a ton, and we will be doing a tour video. So once we get everything done, we'll go and we'll start on one side of the room and we'll work our way around. So it is not something I've ever done, but people have asked to see what all my figures and stuff and how it looks all together. And I got my Dragonfly here, and my the Locust version of the Dragonfly when it came out in 2000, and then I also have my Tigerfly. All my Dragonflies here, and I definitely want to display them somewhere. And I've got a battle platform that I want to display. There's so much that I want to display, but it's not going to be easy because there's just the space I have here. And so we'll see. And I also like to display my D&D books. So it's kind of a toss-up. You can't wait to see that? Well, that'll be soon. But like I said, we got to finish setting up in here. I got to put a lot of stuff away and rearrange a little bit. So that's where we're at with that. But like right back there, I have my two Copperheads. I did their video a couple of weeks ago. Then I have a Buzzer, a Ripper, and Zerana, not Buzzer. My Snake Supreme, which I just picked up, and I've got that I can't remember his name. He's one of the newer figures, but it's escaping me right now. I'd have to go pick it up and take a look at it, but whatever. I'll be taking a look at those figures. So there it is. Eels is just a badass figure, and I totally agree with you, Kiwi. I'm glad I was able to give my take on him and stretch it out a little bit here by talking to you. So talking about my studio a little bit and how it's going to be for Joe Takes. So normally for the other videos, I'm probably going to have my green screen up now that I have a space to put it. And but Joe Takes, it's just with showing off figures and stuff. Unless I have my other camera set up, then I probably won't have the green screen. But if I get that other, I have my another camera which I used for my Hawk video last week. And then if I get that set up in here properly, then I will start doing that and having the green screen up for the Joe Takes too. But didn't work out that way tonight. But that is my take on Eels. And thank you for joining me, Kiwi. And I appreciate you being here. And anybody who watches the replay, thanks for watching. And I hope you enjoyed my take on Eels. And on that note, I will play the video that goes along with this on Joe Takes 45 on Joe Takes 45. Yes, for Eels with all the file cards and some art, and a little bit more. Thank you, and we'll catch you later.
In the depths of the sea, fierce battle unfolds. Eels are evil, coldness controlled. Frogmen in black, ready to attack from a shot of Cobra. The water fights back. Cobra frogmen, there are on the ground. Against the G.I. Joe Seals, heroes now. It's an aquatic showdown, waters raging high. Cobra frogmen and Seals collide. And the frogmen, they're on the prowl. Watch out now, against the G.I. Joe Seals, heroes now. It's an aquatic showdown, waters raging high. Cobra frogmen, Seals collide. In the depths of the ocean, where darkness lies, a force emerges with evil in their eyes. Oh, fears are evil. Cobra frogmen trail with the mission to conquer. You're coming for you. Cobra, you shot from the water's edge. Battling the seals, the heroes won't let you. Team Seals, fearless and bold. United they stand.
I'm going to remake both those videos. Music. I'm just going to say hi to Nature Dog Realms. Hello, Chris. I'm glad you joined us. I'm going to pause this next video that I, for some reason, am staring all weird at, and that'll be next time for more of those. But that's the 4 Joe Takes I wanted to show you. But I've got an Eels file card for you right now. I didn't post that 2 times. All right, let's watch an Eels file card.
Crashing through the sky comes a fearful cry. Cobra! Cobra! frogman and demolitions. Fireplace, primary specialty, underwater demolitions. Secondary specialty, marine engineering. Eels are the underwater demolition specialists of the Cobra Legions. They man and operate the Cobra marine outposts disguised as offshore drilling rigs and augment the crews of larger Cobra naval vessels. Eels undergo a rigorous 2-part training program in the warm shark and pirate-infested waters of the Cayman Islands in the Caribbean and the frigid dark depths of the North Atlantic. The training regimen includes marine structural engineering, explosive ordnance, underwater fighting techniques, and marine geology. Eels have come a long way since the days when they were trained in shark-infested waters to prove their worth. Eels must now be proficient with sophisticated verdict detection gear, the latest in plastic explosives, and state-of-the-art closed-circuit self-contained breathing systems. Of course, failure to pass the high-tech courses could result in a disciplinary dip in the shark tank. We're not talking about the mechanical sharks. We're talking about the real, live, hungry ones. Eels are also outfitted with razor-sharp fins on their suits, so they can rip through the thickest hulls. They specialize in aquatic environments, testing weapon systems that are in development. Cobra Eels are skilled in marine engineering and underwater combat tips. When serving with Viper Legions, Eels are often called Aqua Viper officers. One of the soggy saboteurs of the sea, your Cobra Eels were wet and wild.
Skipping the YouTube bits. So that's what I have for you on Joe Takes Classics tonight. Just lost, though requested another look at the Hydro Viper, and I managed to find them. They pretty much were right on top. So that was kind of cool in the drawer there where I keep my G.I. Joe Cobra figures. I've got this plastic file box thing with these really cool drawers, and I put the Joes, each individual one, in a little plastic bag that has like the stick them right there that keeps them nice and airtight and cool, and then I keep the group in the bag, and this is my like Cobra Navy bag for my vintage figures. Let me see. Purple Nurple, ouch. Wet and Wild. Is this some kind of X-rated show? Tiger was pointing that out too, by the way. But yeah, we'll chat a bit before I take off. But let's put some music on in the background. But anyway, yeah, he came with this pretty cool knife. Yeah, but no way for him to sheath it or hold it because his second hand is a webbed hand. It's pretty cool. Put that face back up and closer. Are you watching too? No. How are you laughing then? She's laughing at what I'm saying. But anyway, I got both flippers on this bad boy. The way you sheathed it, yeah, no place to sheath it. But yeah, he came with one of these stingrays, little stingers on their tails. You know, it's a stingray, not a manta ray. But I had an extra one because my brother had a Hydro Viper, but I don't know what he did with it. She's laughing at me, talking about my G.I. Joe. But I love this figure. He's badass. I love the Demon of the Deep mask. But yeah, it sort of reminds me of the Creature of the Black Lagoon. Put that face back up and closer. Wow! If I can get it to focus, though, that's the problem. It is a really cool figure, Jess. This one came out in 1988. Unless they do a classified version of this, which would be awesome, because I'd love to see how they would do the web hand effect. Maybe you can do it on both hands, but yet still have it hold accessories. That'd be better. Or just change hands. That's probably what they'll do. Swap the hands out and have extra hands. Who is that giggly? It doesn't sound like Tiger. It's Tiger. It's Tiger. No, it's really Tiger. You recognize 1988 purple? Yes, sir. They had a lot of purple in 1988, 1987 too with the Techno Viper. which I'll be looking at this month on Joe Takes. Techno Viper from the Hill will be later on this month. Hashtag web hand effect. There she is. See, I told you it was a tiger. She's lying. She was watching the whole time. She says I was not. She just turned it on. Okay, but he had this really cool gun. You know, I always kept this mask on because you take this helmet off. If I can get it off without breaking everything. No, it don't want to come off. Oh, there it goes. And his face is just like, yeah, let's put. Sorry, sir, but you are less ugly with the ugly mask on. Get it off. Tiger. Yeah, let's put his helmet back on, and the hoses tend to push it in various directions. But yeah, it's a really badass figure. So, but yeah, it's a little hard to set up because the hoses, you have to put them around the head and plug it to the front of the face. Now, they put it in the side. That'd be cooler. But, you know, she likes wet G.I. Joes. Tiger. See, this is why we miss the Tiger, because she knows how to make me laugh. And that spurs me on to try to make you guys laugh, too. But let's see it. Tiger. All right, so there it is, Jess. I hope that was cool enough for you. Hoses that plug into the face. Yeah. Okay. Well, that is what I have for you for Joe Takes Classics tonight. I hope you enjoyed this live. It was almost exactly the running time I wanted it to be. Just a little shy of 3 hours without the music videos at the beginning, but that put it well over the 3-hour mark. So that was pretty cool. I think I might be doing that every time, like I will be from Fridays from the Hilt. So, but we will be back tomorrow night on Fridays from the Hilt. Our season 3 starts tomorrow night. You're excited for tomorrow? Me too. Me too. We laugh at you without you even trying. Well, thanks. I mean, okay, no. Yeah, see, I've been on here too long. Now I'm just being silly. Good morning, Tiger. Morning banger. Okay. Now, Saturday I've got a Beachhead video that's a Joe Takes Classics reissued. I put it to music. I've done a lot better. So yeah, I said I'm going to keep redoing these Joe Takes till the end of time. No, just kidding. I don't know. Whatever I feel like doing at the time. Everyone's people in Cali, okay? I guess so. I guess so. Are we all just people most of the time? Let's see, Saturday night, Spine Ticks Live, 8 p.m. Pacific time. Check out that on Spine Ticks Live channel. The Tiger will be joining us on a panel. Sithlordly is our host. Lady Sithlordly in the chat, my lady. Check us out. We'll have a regular cast of panelists on there. We will have Uncanny Swag, Dan DeLatorre. We'll have Captain Perchy and myself. And Tiger, like I said, will be joining us. Sasha's fine. My mom is fine. Both of them have been without power but safe. Oh, I didn't know your mom was on power. I didn't know. I was talking to my kid Ben today, so I'm kind of been distracted making videos, talking with my kid. They got a semi-crisis going on in their life, but I'm glad I could help and advise them. I think everything okay. Kate said they were going to cut their power. They might. Go on alert and sad for my former hangouts are gone. Yeah, I'm sad for that too. But because those fires got way out of control. So yeah, that's what's going on Saturday. Sunday we were coming back with Isle the Dragonhead, Jess Laws, Routine, Sasha, Katie Robbins, the Tiger, and myself with referee Jake Pendragon. That's a lot of fun. I love that game. Monday night is Ravagers of Carnage. Let's see. Yeah, I used to work in Santa Monica and hung out over there from the valley. It sucks what's going on over there. I know. And I don't pay as much attention as I probably should. But after that, next week, before we hit Fridays of the Hilt again, we have got Radio from the Hilt a week from tonight. We'll be having season 2 starting next week. Episode 17. We're going to have a full album from the Tiger with all her music put together. called One More Level for the full album because that's my favorite song of hers. Yeah, it does suck. I'm just okay. It is okay. Distracting you too. No. Wait, I didn't even mention that. See what was funny about that, what you didn't know, Kate, was that Katie Robbins was talking to me at the same time. I was getting bombarded with messages from both of you, but it's all good. Anyway, on that note, that's what's going on From the Hilt. I hope you all have a good night, and thank you so much for joining me. I'm going to have to take off, so Logan out. So let's turn this off, and we'll see you next time tomorrow night on Fridays from the Hilt.
Unsubstantiated fantasy! Lies! Lies! Lies!
Oh, would I do a thing like that?
Next time, baby.